Can I ask a question?
No, I want to say something first, Kim, please. So a few days ago, there was like a news item from Con 11 saying, for the first time in decades, Jewish terrorism surpasses Palestinian terrorism in the West Bank. Now, that might sound like some Zionists are coming to their senses, right? However, that's wrong. Why? Because when we look at what they would constitute as terror attacks, in order to make that demonstration, I'm going to tell you a story about something that happened a few days ago. A 14-year-old child was shot in the West Bank, and for 45 minutes, soldiers stood on top of him, looking at him, bleeding to death. He threw his hat at them, begging for help. His mother was standing 200 meters away, screaming for help, but they did nothing. But that will not be constituted a terror attack. 8 months ago, a 23-year-old pregnant woman was waiting in the checkpoint with her husband. She was 8 months pregnant. The new command from the IDF said that everybody that looks in a suspicious way on the ground must be neutralized in every way possible. She got out of the car to stretch her leg. 8 months pregnant. Not a lot of women here, but I can tell you need to stretch your legs. But apparently she looked funny on the... Shut up, let me finish. Shut up, let me finish.
But this is like a conversation.
Let me finish.
We were having a totally different conversation.
She was shot dead. So when we talk about terror attacks, we need to understand that Israel has a very specific way of framing this and presenting this to the world. So it might be very nice for Zionists to say for the first time Jewish terrorism surpasses Palestinian ones. However, that's not been the case for years because the IDF has been slaughtering them for years. So whenever you engage with Hasbara, these are the kind of tactics that you need to look out for. I hope that was correct.
Yeah, I was curious about Mood. Are you familiar with the group Combatants for Peace?
Yes.
And are you involved with them?
No, peace fighters. I follow them in Facebook. Peace fighters.
Yeah, that's them.
Yes, I love them. I follow them.
Oh,
What are they about? Tell us about them.
The same, they are supporting, they are pro-Bali and they go always, protest, support the Palestinians cases, other stuff. I respect. They are very kind people.
It's Israelis and Palestinians. It's Israelis and Palestinians.
Exactly.
This is what we need more of. We need more of this, like allyship.
That's correct. We need to organize also, they left leadership, I can organize such, charities. I don't want to call them military organization. I don't like organizations. Let's say we like charity. We make charity to support our case, in a peaceful way.
Jindeep.
It's a good one. You got what I mean?
Jindeep, are you here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you help me explain to people how dire the situation is? And this is not the time to talk about kumbaya peace talks.
I don't know.
The symbol.
If you're referring to the character in the room, it's very frustrating.
Guys, the situation in the West Bank, I adore Jindeep, and I'm terrified for his safety, because the West Bank is the target now. They're closing in on everything. This is, as much as I appreciate the desire for dialogue and peace-building conversations, this is a different ballgame. We're in the midst of a full-on ethnical cleanse between the river and the sea. Everywhere that there is a Palestinian, they're putting the boot down. I don't know how to be more clear about this.
Yes, we agree.
I think we have to prepare.
Correct.
I think 1940. Dude, you gotta be quiet. Sorry, I can't talk to you. Just be quiet for a second.
Asyan Medani, Prince.
What I find interesting here, as an observer, I'm trying to listen to Palestinians mostly. It's very interesting to hear all the diversity, and from on-the-ground Palestinians, non-on-the-ground Palestinians.
Shocking. They're humans with pluralism, multiple opinions.
Excuse me, Emrose, stop it. I'm not who you think I am. Stop it.
You literally embarrassed yourself right now.
Stop it. I didn't call them not human. What I said is it's helpful to hear the different views. Of course, I knew they existed, but it's helpful to hear them because I don't necessarily go in those circles and have access. This is why I come here to listen. You don't know who I am. So fuck off.
Triggered much?
I like your profile picture, Caleb.
You know, Emeralds, for someone who's trying to unify people, you seem to unify everybody in hatred against you.
I like it. It's beautiful.
Nachman!
Very nice.
Ribono Shalom. Welcome to my live stream broadcast of the Emrose Show and Buttercup, as well as Palestinian terrorists. You're not gonna believe this shit you're gonna hear. Crash outs. Hello?
My future one state.
Hello! Welcome to the show! Hit the like button and subscribe right now. Good Friday is here.
Not everyone
Hello?
what Israel is in.
Hello? 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 Good Shabbos, everybody. Shalom. It's almost Shabbos. Just one more day. Hello?
The state is
Yes, I am part of.
Sorry, I had too much coffee this morning.
Lebanon and Syria and Jordan. It goes beyond your river to the sea.
Yes, I am the
And if
Jewish
you're-
master.
we're not going back to Ottoman times, Benny. I am not. We actually literally are going back to Ottoman
Jewish
times.
Arabism, Palestine.
You
For
decide.
fuck's sake, Benny, we were talking about something that happens
We
right
decide
now.
by ourselves.
No, hold on. Benny,
Yes,
we're talking about
pan-Arabism
something that
can include
happens
Jews.
right now.
Get
We
out.
are talking about something that is happening right now, literally to a friend sitting on the panel with us. Like in a few months, you might not be able to talk to him. Do you understand this? Or this is just a video game to
Oh no, it's not a video game to me to have my land occupied. It's not a video game to me to see my people. Which, by the way, I see the Palestinians as my people. I don't look at someone from Palestine and say, "Oh, you're a stranger" or "You're different." No, he's absolutely no different than me, in no way, shape, or form. Actually, if anything, some
Why are
parts
you
of
canceling
Palestine are
this
closer
intended-
to me as a Damascene than someone from Aleppo or Raqqa or Deir ez-Zor or Asakir.
And how does
or any
that
of these
change the
further
fact
countries.
that a military that is after genocide is slowly closing on our friend Jindib here and on 2.8 other million Palestinians in the West Bank?
Yes, and that
I'm trying to
military
tell
is
you
like
this
20 kilometers
for
away
days.
from Damascus, too. My homeland,
Break out the
where my
unified-
family is. What does that matter to you? No, because it's not part of the river and the sea? Doesn't matter?
Yes, right now there are no tanks and bulldozers heading towards
There are
Damascus.
literally tanks right outside of Damascus.
Okay, sure. Then I discriminate and I prioritize Palestinians. Sue me.
If you were in one state, I would.
Good luck.
I
will sue you under Sharia law.
Pathway to citizenship. I thought there
You
was a
can't.
pathway to
You can
citizenship.
only take
in
to
your
Sharia
state
law,
for
and Sharia courts in Israel only applies to Muslims. You can try to take rabbinical court, but I'm Jewish, so I have supremacy there. You're fucked. Free Palestine.
And my homeland, in which thousands and hundreds and thousands of people are being killed, and no one talks about it. My homeland. How about that?
Actually, there's a group of Jews on here talking about it for 40 days now, or however long it's been going on.
Remember me? You know
Oh my God, baby. How you doing, bud? Oh, baby, bud. How you doing, bro?
See you again. Nice. I'm happy.
I know he's my favorite person too.
Butter, is he still flirting with you?
Every day. And I was flirting with Emeralds too.
Oh, fuck. Bud, look at you, bro. You got 3 bites
It's
ready
not
for you.
flirting. It's
We're
just-
joking, we're being tongue in cheek. He's happily married. He's just adorable.
Do you know what happened in Jericho a few days ago?
What happened? Tell us.
That was a turning point. Settlers came with bulldozers. Usually when they come to bulldoze Palestinian houses, the military is involved. There's some sort of an official or pseudo-official representative there. But this time it was just 15 settlers with huge bulldozers that simply tore through an entire block in Jericho because they could. Nobody did shit. That's what we're facing everywhere. And Jadip is literally in the heart of that fucking hurricane.
Also, Judy's family, you know, she went back to visit them. They have it hard. They live in like a refugee camp, so really things are really difficult. They've never really had good freedom of movement. They've always been like laden with checkpoints. There's literally like a settlement literally facing her home, and there's like soldiers pointing guns at her home. You know what I mean? Like, this is her life. But since she went back, she says now you really can't travel even between the village and the city. You have to like a 10-minute trip is now like a 2-hour trip. You know,
2 hours is a good scenario.
whereas like the settlers have these nice roads.
I saw a video of Bill Clinton today. He's been cited.
A lot of them, by the way,
Hello?
are checkpoints, right? It's just settlers that decided that they want to badger and harass Palestinians, so they do. And sometimes those checkpoints result in a 23-year-old woman, 8 months pregnant, shot dead because she looked funny at the ground.
Yeah. Put the link in the chat so people can keep up.
Ribono shel olam.
Is basically they unleashed
Ribono shel
and
olam.
they're
Ribono shel olam.
by the system, by the army, by the security forces, and they come in, they bulldoze wherever they want, they take over, and
Ribono shel olam.
They will ask them, how can we help you?
This is called the M. Rose Buttercup
A
Show.
few days ago, that settlers complained to the army about Palestinians coming to plow their agricultural properties, and Israel uses an Ottoman Empire decree from 1859 that states that if a landowner
Cultural.
doesn't tend or live on his land,
Keyword of the day is cultural appropriation.
the king or the ruler can take that land. And settlers were complaining that Palestinians were coming to plow their land. So the army prevented those Palestinians from coming. And if they can't prevent them for 3 years, boom, there goes your land. And that has been done for decades and decades. But it's the first time that we have proof that the army actually fulfills several requests to such actions.
try to explain that to anyone who is engaged with the Palestinian issue.
I'm trying to explain so much things here, but people are nuts. Yes, this is why Article 3 and search to October 7th, like,
Most people try to if they have a bad idea, I think the general consensus is to let them say their bad idea and then reply to it and counter it. And that's just generally that's what sort of the decorum, you know? We're all a little autistic on this app, so people get into minutia that doesn't really matter.
Especially the level of believing that you people give to gaslighters and manipulators is almost as high as that. Yeah, it's very necessary.
It's very necessary for them to speak. Last night, the person I talked about so that he speaks is to expose. This too exists along with Ambrose.
Yes, but
This too exists in the
it's
world.
not about existing with me. It's about acknowledging reality. You can't subjectively decide what is real and what is not. You can't erase
It
things
is
that
not
you said.
subjective, right?
I know, but this is what we're
Na na na
allowed to
Nachman.
perpetuate.
Na 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 Nachman. Oh, na 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 Nachman.
Letting them isn't no.
Na 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 Nachman. Yeah. Na 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 Nachman.
It's not about shutting them down.
Na 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 Nachman. Na na na
You
Nachman.
can't allow people to say
Nachman, ho.
it just doesn't.
So they can say it and then you respond.
Nachman. There are followers of the Rebbe. Hello?
No, it's not. Reality is not subjective.
Nachman. 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 Nachman.
If we don't engage in conversation in good faith and at least trust that people
Hello?
have of ignorance and not bad intent.
But good
Hello?
faith also includes integrity.
Nachman.
For what it is, literally, the proof is in front of you, and you still continue to say that up is down.
The proof
That is not
is in front of you.
integrity.
Nachman. Nachman.
There's a reason that Israelis and Palestinians between the river and the sea find it easiest to communicate because we don't have to explain every little detail. So the conversation can get deep and productive and interesting far faster. So we don't mind explaining everything you need to know, but you need to accept the fact that you don't know.
But I think you wanted to expand the conversation.
That is the premise. You have to admit that you don't know in order to be involved in the conversation.
Listen.
That means listen, don't talk. We are the disseminators and the source of the propaganda. Nachman. Nachman.
And say it as if that's a legitimate argument.
I don't know anyone that said that. I didn't hear anyone say that.
I just gave an example.
I think even if they say something that's wrong, like I don't know, in America we have very liberal free speech. You can even say the Nazis.
I know the Alan Joshua. That's not the
This is ACLU, the Union defended the Nazis in Illinois, which is a Jewish neighborhood in Chicago, right?
Hello?
And this is sort of the basis for free speech in much of the West. In Chicago. Chicago.
You said Chicago.
Skokie, Illinois.
Okay, that's why I got it confused. I thought
It's a suburb. It's a suburb of Chicago. Yeah.
This is embarrassing. I've been saying Milwaukee for like a year. Okay.
But you get the idea. It's just that we have very liberal.
Yeah, but that's
we believe that if you have a bad idea, you counter it with a better with.
But it's not about ideas. It's about facts. Separate your personal interpretation of reality to what reality is. Yes, people can have different interpretations of reality, but we need to agree that up is up and down is down. That's the problem. You put actual reality in people's faces and they flat out ignore the fact that it's there. So that's not good faith. That's not coming with intellectual integrity to a conversation where you aim at learn and evolve.
I think
that's coming to a battle and using dirty methods to do it.
Emrose, I think you encounter a lot of, because of
that's projection.
The sort of milieu that you hang out with Palestinians and Israelis. A lot of times, you
Hello?
to assume people's intentions. With not thinking that for most people, Israel-Palestine is not on the forefront of their mind and their experiences. So you assume Hasbarist intentions in a lot of people when they literally come from a completely different point of view. Their cynicism is rooted in their own experience, from their own country and their own politics. Sometimes you think they're dissenting or disagreeing with you, that's not the case at all. And so I think you have to just be a little more open-minded about people's intentions.
That's a different. I don't care.
Chinese people are not Jewish. They don't know much. They don't give a shit about Israel.
Do you know why it's easier to talk to the hardcore right-wingers in Israel? Because there I call them the rah-rah genocide crowd, right? We both agree it's a genocide.
Rah-rah genocide.
That they celebrated, but at least I don't have to fight over reality. And that is the biggest problem. They ignore reality.
She doesn't have to fight over reality. She has to convince other people that her reality is the real reality.
No, I show facts and they ignore it. I'm talking about me watching.
I show them facts and they ignore it.
I actively provide information.
I gotta feed these into Sora.
And they flat out behave as if it never happened. Or that the graphs is actually something that it's insane. It's insane. It's manufactured tribes and nations. And I don't think you should be enabling it. I'm not saying these people should not talk, but be very, very, very diligent in making sure that you do not enable those like insane delusions.
Rose, I think when you hang around this app, you start to get to know people's backstories a little bit, and you start to understand their opinions, whether it's coming from ignorance or it's coming from, their own personal political. Like, you start to understand a little bit more how the sentence is going to end, so before you interrupt them, right? And so I think if you get to know people, stick around on this app and listen a little more and get to know where people are coming from, you'll learn that people are motivated by a whole spectrum of things, and I think
It's not the motivation.
Like, I can tell people's going down.
The motivation is propaganda and projection and conditioning. All communication is hypnosis. The Emrose Show. Hello?
There are nuances to everything, right? Some issues are black and white, such as the one we're dealing with at the moment, right? But even within those come nuances on very negligible levels. Even those we attend to because we allow for that freedom. Now, you can surely refute it if you have a good argument, if you're a rational person, such as yourself. But then one must be heard, is what Buttercup and I are saying. Allow for that hearing so as to refute it.
And you never know. And half the time, I think you sometimes leap to the way they're going to end their point. As when you only hear the first half, you often can't tell what their point is going to be, and it's easy to jump to conclusions based on your previous conversations. But I think if you get to know people a little bit, you'll realize that their intentions are not.
So someone lays out an argument for you, and let's say 2 paragraphs into the argument, he states a fact that is inherently wrong. And I do interrupt. I don't have self-control when it comes to that. I fully acknowledge that. That's like a flaw in me that no matter how much I tried, I cannot control. But that it is what it is. Take it or leave it. The point is that you cannot keep going about alternative facts. There has to be a way out of this. I've been talking about this for a year. It's impossible to have these conversations when people keep denying reality. We need to establish what it is.
People keep denying reality! It's impossible! 1 year I've been trying to convince people that my reality is the real reality! And nobody accepts my reality!
We agree on what reality is. If you can't agree on reality, then fuck it. Let's just burn the whole place down.
But then what's the point of engaging? You wanted to engage and create momentum.
I don't want to fight about reality. It's not about. There's no negotiation about
minutia. You're calling people Hosberists over little semantical differences.
Like what?
You have to let those things go. Like whether they use the word Palestinian Arab or they use the word Palestinian 48.
I didn't call them a Zionist over that, but I made sure that everybody knows that Israeli Arab is a derogatory term with a very specific intent behind it, and it's extremely important to avoid using it. If Palestinian 48 wishes to refer to himself as a Palestinian Arab, but he can do whatever the fuck he wants. But I know what the intention behind that term means. And it's the same as you telling me, well, it's okay to use the N-word occasionally. It's just not.
You could use that.
N-word alert!
I understand.
N-word alert!
I understand the feeling. I absolutely
You
understand.
understand in ways that I will never understand.
Can I use that word?
But it's like you said, if you tell someone 2 plus 2 is 4, and they'll come back and argue, yes, it's 4, but or it's not 4, it's 5. Basic facts, basic things are not accepted at their value. I understand. It's very frustrating. And the use of the term Israeli Arab is a little too much. Now you can see right through the thing. People just don't see right through. They don't understand why.
This is why I always point it out, because it's so evil and so little people are aware of it.
You just can't control people. It's good to make people aware, but you can't say you may not speak that way because
No,
it is.
it is a very good indicator for people's intentions. Because
I don't think so. I think people ignorantly say it.
Buttercup, no, Buttercup. When I take the time to explain and I give the full rundown where it came from, what it was designed to do, how we can see the same policy applied in other practices, and they still cancel that. That's not good intentions. That's not integrity.
I think
That's gaslighting.
So Emrose, Jewish diaspora Jews. A lot of us are familiar with people, Arab, whatever you call, Palestinian Israelis, whatever.
Palestinian 48.
What is the only correct name? Palestinian 48. The only correct term for them. They're
Palestinian
aware.
with Israeli citizenship. It's
Okay, so that's allowed. So they don't know. They hear people describing themselves as Palestinian Arabs, so they think that, or Arab Israelis, and they think that's fine. And so you telling them this is the correct term and this is not the correct term, it's kind of like it becomes like a little excessive.
so. What do you
Like
think?
I've never even in my life heard the term Palestinian 48. No one's ever used it in any context in a newspaper, in a journal, anything.
There's a reason for that. They know that if they identify as a Palestinian, there will be a price to pay. Don't forget, these are people under occupation.
So if a
There are things
Palestinian
they can't
himself
do.
told me that, I'd believe it, but no one ever has, and I know many Palestinians.
Okay. I don't know what else to say.
I trust you. I take your word for it, but no Palestinian has conveyed that to me.
Tindin, can you try to explain it? I've tried. Maybe it should come from a Palestinian.
Yeah, the frustrating part, what Emrose, I think, is what Emrose is talking about, is when you do not accept very basic facts, it becomes very hard and very cumbersome to have and engage in a meaningful conversation with anyone. Like
Can
a
you
very
explain why
basic...
No,
Palestinian?
but she's obsessed with the terminology. She says
Can you explain to her what Arab Israel
Yeah,
is?
the term has been, well, listen, Emrose, I don't know, you're not old enough to remember the terms they used to describe us, people living in the West Bank. I remember the term they used to use, the inhabitants of the administered territories. I remember that term.
I don't
Vividly
remember
clear.
that.
Well, because you're young. You're young. I'm much older than you. You're young. So they use those terms. We used to be called the inhabitants of the administered territories. That's what. So when they use the term Israeli Arab is to strip away, to deny the existence of the Palestinian people.
okay, so that's fine. So that's a better way to frame it.
Yeah.
Acknowledge Palestinianism.
But
Why can't you say
And
Palestinianism?
some of my arguments with people, I used to tell people, like, would you get a diarrhea if you call those people Palestinians? What would happen to you? Why don't you just call them Palestinians? Why you use...
I don't think for most people it's intentional though. So if we get stuck on it every conversation.
Butter, this is the thing, right? Buttercup, we can never assess true intention. Okay, so I get the whole idea of like someone's intent or someone's prior, whatever belief systems or opinions. I get that. But when, and I really think that's true, the moment you remove identity or the way particular people want to call themselves, you have made them non-existent. This is the fucking problem.
And that's actually one of the things I displays.
I want to expand on that for a second. There's an entire report, if you want to send it to you, that was telling me it's called the Divide and Conquer policy. Part of that policy entails fragmenting the Palestinian society. By not allowing Palestinians 48 to identify as Palestinians, to have Palestinian insignia, to learn Palestinian history, you're erasing them from stripping them from the Palestinian identity, fragmenting and tearing them away from their people. And that's one of the practices they use in order to implement the Divide and Conquer policy. It's a very comprehensive, known doctrine that they have used for years. We can see the same doctrine being applied in Gaza, what they call the Hebron Sheikh. There are many examples, but this is why this small terminology carries so much weight.
It does, and it works. And it has been working very, very well for the last... Yeah, I mean, look at us. We're Palestinians from the West Bank. We're Palestinians of East Jerusalem. We're Palestinians in Gaza. We're the Palestinians of 1948. We're the Palestinians in the refugee camps. We're Palestinians in the diaspora. So it works. And that term represents all that doctrine so fucking well. And Palestinians will rarely, unless they feel very safe, identify as a Palestinian. They can't say, oh, the price they will pay for that. Tell me about it.
It's like saying those.
It's
like saying those guys who are gassed. Those two guys who are gassed and gas
And
chambers.
all our
Without giving
striving
them
is to
a
create
freaking
the
identity to
delusion,
ever be
which
remembered,
deludes
to
no
ever
one.
have a social
That
feeling,
our straw staff stupidity is a
tagging
living thing.
along with that
Poison
great
gas.
It's something like
You
that.
have
It's
destroyed
so
the stamina of
So
men
It's
I'm not
so
by
advocating
easing the
erasing the
ordeals
Palestinians.
that you
It's that I
propose
think
You don't say
unconventionally imposed by
Palestinianism.
God.
Not to you.
their
Well,
Palestinian
you don't.
identity. Remember, you're like really nitpicking. And
It's
it's
not
not right.
It's
I'm
not
bound
really
to
term.
contradict myself.
Can I say something?
Right, I don't know, but
But
not
I tell
well.
the
So I
truth all
wasn't
the
trying to
time.
mimic it not
That
well.
is the
I know
climax of the
you
curse.
make these connections no one else is making.
If I
Okay.
refuse to be the big,
So
blonde beast
obviously,
with brains,
the Palestinian
savage and
identity
strong,
should be
subtle and
recognized
subtle,
in the names of the
crafty,
way things
with
we call people.
conscience,
I guess my issue is that
clever,
because most people,
as I must be to
as a journalist, as a
survive,
person who thinks
with
about
a
language and
pity,
being precise,
sympathy,
most people
or
don't
even
know
social
that
sense
the
of
term
the
Palestinian
belief
Authority
that
refers to people who
solidarity
live in
is
Israel and
safe.
have citizenship.
My
So a way that
morally
might be
superior
that
act
people's
does not save
minds are
suffering
thinking
in
of
the
what you're
long
talking
run.
about might be
Each
Palestinians with
individual
Israeli
is weakened
citizenship,
by my loyal
Palestinians who
support.
live in the
And the more we love,
who have
the
Israeli
more
passports.
we
But like
injure
Palestinian
those we
Party is not a
love.
well-known term that
Would
is widely
dare
recognized.
oppose this.
In America,
But
we're
with
in
a
the West,
smile
maybe in
that
Israel,
would not
but
be
not.
suppressed, steaming about my lips.
And I don't
Stated
expect
with
people to
with
know, and I'm happy
atheists
to
and
explain.
anarchists.
I'm happy to explain.
They
My
picked up these
problem
appalling
comes when I
blasphemies
give
from
the
their lying,
explanation
lawless
and they
lips.
reject it. And they start attacking it
I had no
despite
doubt that a few more
every
years of
possible proof that I
experience with the
present.
advantages of
I
the
have
company
no
of
problem. This
Christian
is what I'm here
gentlemen
for.
would wean
I
me
come
from
with
these
a lot of
incoherent and
information
infantile
only with the one purpose
paradoxes.
of sharing it. But if I share it, and no matter what I have as concrete evidence to back my claim, they shit all over it. That's not good faith conversation. Okay, that's not hard to detect, Emeralds.
Well, Emerald is facing a double-edged sword. On one side, she has the Zionists who know about this and reject her opinion, and on the other hand, she lives it day by day, and she knows the insides and outs of what's going on.
These appalling blasphemies from their lying,
It's very
lawless
difficult. I
lips.
do understand that when I came to Clubhouse, it's only
I had
been
no
not
doubt.
too long for me to be amongst everybody else. I'm Greek originally, and and I speak Arabic. So I grew up in a culture where Palestine and the Israeli conflict has always been in conversations growing up, because I grew up amongst Palestinians, so I understand that. And Emrose speaks it from living it. And it's been very difficult. The whole Zionist agenda has been to, for example, my cousin's kids in Texas, their books, before Tel Aviv before Jerusalem was determined to be the capital of Israel, they already had changed the textbooks in schools way back then that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. But, excuse me. There's so much. I mean, it's like a fish, it's like a salmon swimming upstream against all of this stuff. It's so difficult for you. But I would say, don't change your story. Your story is good. And from people like me, who I see you as a beacon of light for the Palestinian cause. I wish more people are like you, regardless of what the narrative or how you approach the issue. You're approaching it from the heart, basically. And I think that's a great thing.
I second that. I think you're speaking from the heart, and you're a treasure, and I hope you don't leave Clubhouse, and your perspective is deeply valued. And I think this conversation, helped us understand each other's perspectives coming from, even though politically we're aligned, I think sometimes we have different views about like how to communicate it. And I think that's why it's important to have these conversations, because I think it creates.
If we were completely aligned, I would be worried. That would indicate that there's a problem. If we didn't have, pluralism between the two of us.
Yeah.
People should not be always completely aligned.
I think on the basics, on getting rid of the occupation, on what the outcome should be, on justice for Palestinians, I think there's no daylight between us. Obviously, there's always going to be nuances.
I have a privilege that I have an obligation to exploit. I am Jewish and I am Israeli, which gives me an ability to shed a light on the truth that other people cannot, right? Most of the Hasbara counterpoints I am immune to. They can't call me Nazi, they can't call me Hamas, even though they do, but they just look stupid when they do, so it doesn't matter. And I have obligation to do that, whether it's small like this or my 800 people spaces or what I do in my job that I can't talk about. But the point is, it comes down to actual acknowledging reality. And this is what we talk about at work all the time. Like, we are living in an age of fluent information, which is a blessing and a curse at the same time. But if there are voices, and it is Jewish privilege, it is Jewish supremacy. I acknowledge it. I use my privilege and supremacy in order to fight against it from within. And I have an obligation to do that because I will be privileged whether I like it or not. So I might as well use it to fight the wrong.
These speakers are unstoppable. They will flush their
Information
existence.
is super important.
Facts
are super important because if you look at the basis of this, how many times have you had conversations about this when you ended up arguing about some minuscule detail from 1954 about who said what to whom for 2.5 fucking hours, right? This is why there is the Witness Project by Lee Mordechai. We realized very early that one of the best things that we can do, because we can't stop the genocide, no matter how much we try, but we can damn well make sure that nobody can deny it. And nobody can say, I didn't know, and I this is why I didn't do anything. We will make sure every fine, every legal detail is cataloged, registered in real time. And then when time comes for justice, Palestinians will have everything they need to get their justice. And this will finally be fucking over. But if you bring facts to the table and people look at it as if it's a unicorn or a flying monkey, then these people do not come in good faith.
I think I agree with you 100% that it's like urgent and there's a massive problem of disinformation in our society where people are living on two different realities with different sets of facts. I don't think the solution is shutting out those people. And then there's like a lot of people who are just confused, right? There's such an abundance of information and conflicting information, they don't know what to believe. I think the vast majority of people are right in the middle. And if they say something that is using the wrong terminology, or they omit a detail, or they accidentally, or they're focused on minutia that you think is irrelevant, I think in my experience on this app, in 90% of the time, it's not coming from a place of malice. It's not coming from a place of a negative intentions. And I think to be effective, we don't. I think we need to engage those people, not shut them down.
Yeah, but how many times can you give the same?
Sorry, you're cut out. You gotta go. We lost you.
Because they're never going to accept reality. They were never going to accept reality. They're just jerking you around. If people come in good faith, and a lot of people are confused and ill-informed to no fault of theirs, and I am more than happy to give them all the information they need. And I have the receipts for everything I say because I know my shit and I know this game. But if you provide all that, and they still stick to their guns and get like hysterical and attack then why waste time? Because they were never going to come to this conversation because they want to learn. If they wanted to learn, then they would actually take serious time to investigate what you have presented. But they don't. They just throw a fucking tantrum.
Can I bring up a specific example? And this is not to attack you or corner you. I think this is like a really healthy, constructive conversation because it clears some stuff up about like where I'm coming from, where you're coming from. So yesterday, Zolani, who is a liberal by all accounts, he doesn't support the occupation. He thinks the occupation is illegal and needs to end immediately. He believes what's happening in the West Bank based on the decision by the ICJ is effectively apartheid. It's not exactly apartheid, but it's the same severity and it may as well be apartheid. And his interpretation of that ICJ ruling is literally the same as yours, effectively. There's no practical difference. He still thinks they're ordered or legally bound to remove themselves from the West Bank.
So-
It doesn't matter, and you're getting hung up on minutia. Why? Like,
No,
what is
what I'm getting hung up, that respectfully to, his name of it. Delaney, it's unintentional. What I find frustrating, I have my own interpretation, Delaney has his own interpretation. But respectfully, none of us matter. Because every fucking person who works in this, does this for a living, has the same interpretation. The ICJ ruled apartheid and racial segregation. We went over the details. We can go over the details again. But even if we have a disagreement, if you don't have the intellectual integrity to say, well, respectfully, with how much I review myself and how much of a whatever, I might have an IQ of 240. Don't think that's not even an IQ, but you get my point. But you still ignore the fact that every interpretation by a professional actually says the opposite, then you're not being honest. Then that's a superiority complex. I'm sorry.
So it's a fantasy.
As smart as you might be,
But I mean, go ahead.
it's not about me or Zeleny or anyone. It's about understanding that there is reality, there are facts, and sure, we can have our own opinions, but even if you interpret it differently, if you can't see that you might be wrong on this because everybody else that are actually qualified to do this don't agree with you, then you don't have the capability to self-reflect and course correct.
But it's all subjective determinations of who's qualified.
Basically,
I could literally, and I do say this as someone who believes it's a genocide. I could find 1,000 American professors, probably 1,000 French ones, 1,000 British ones, 1,000 Israeli ones, even some Arab and Muslim ones that will say, yeah, it's not a genocide. And they'll say that's Hamas's fault and it's the Palestinians' fault. And I'll say that they're experts.
so let me say it's a subcategory of racial discrimination, right? So even in that, he's positing that although like 3 things may be right in a statement, if there are 3 things given in a statement and 2 such things are right, that statement is still right. So he's sort of like dissecting it also based on semantics, etc., etc. I understood what he was saying, right? And he's bringing forth an idea. Oh, yeah. That's okay. He's bringing forth an idea that in the future, if at all, someone like declares this freaking genocide as a non-genocide, right? Whether it be through academia, like how Sultan said, with the manipulation that exists within it, especially for such a like sensitive political issue, don't be that shocked, because this is how they're doing it.
And he's also saying that the outcome is the same. The actionable action doesn't change. It's if the outcome you want is for the occupation to end, he supports ending the occupation.
Yes.
It makes no practical difference. If we're all on the same page, that we say the decision is that it must end and it's criminal. So what's the difference with the semantical?
It's the integrity behind it that I insist on. But crap, I just wanted to say
Sorry,
something.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I forgot. Shit.
I mean, he's exposing the lack of integrity.
Sultan, you said that you can bring Muslims, whatever, experts. Can you, please?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I'll wait.
Gemini, AI, all those exist. I mean, I'm not gonna.
No. I'll wait.
Okay, how about
Please bring the professors. Bring the professors, Muslim, Christian, Jews that have published opinions publicly saying this is not a genocide. I'll wait as long as it is.
I don't see why you're like arguing as if like they don't exist. I mean, you're literally Israeli. The average person in your country thinks that not only is this not a genocide, but that it's the Palestinians' fault. And this goes
What
all
does
the way
that have to do with anything?
Because you're saying that, they don't exist. These professionals, these experts.
You said you could bring. The thing is, Sultan, hold on,
how
let me
about
finish.
you stop interrupting me? No. How about you let me finish?
I was talking and you interrupted.
No, you asked me a question and you interrupted 10 times to say a bunch of nothing. Right? So how about let's calm ourselves a bit and think rationally for 10 seconds. I live in the United States. you live in Israel. The two biggest supporters of Zionism over the past entire history of Zionism, right? That support didn't happen just from random, Bob on the street or Shimon in Tel Aviv saying that, oh yeah, it's not a genocide. It happened because all levels of society had enough people that said, yeah, this is not a genocide. In fact, Israel's not doing anything wrong. In fact, it's all the Palestinians' fault. Now, I actually happen to know professors myself because my parents are professors that work in some of these fields, and yeah, they do complain regularly about some of their own colleagues saying that yeah, this is a genocide. But frankly, considering that actually believe this absurd worldview that there are no experts that say this wasn't a genocide. I don't even see why we waste time on this information.
Because Sultan, if it was so easy to produce that list, you would have produced it right now.
Bernard Lewis.
Hold on.
That's just one off the top of my head.
One. Okay, that's one. Who else?
I don't need to go further. Benny Morris is another. He doesn't think it's a genocide.
Benny Morris never spoke about the genocide.
He doesn't think it's a
He
genocide.
defended the incursion, the operations in Gaza publicly.
But the point is, though, it's not hard to find people that
It is. I would like to see a public opinion or op-ed by Benny Morris openly titled "This is not a genocide." Can you produce that, please?
I already told you Bernard Lewis. Bernard Lewis.
Okay, Bernard Lewis. Who else?
Who else?
Who else? I know Bernard Lewis. I know Bernard Lewis, and I know
Open Gemini.
We got it right there. I am done with all of this. I say
you said I can produce it. Then please produce it. No. You said I'm not going to do AI search because I know it doesn't exist. Because I know it does exist. For the millionth time. I don't know how many times I have to provide documentation and receipts to you people. So there is one paper produced and 6 columns saying this is not a genocide. Then there was Bernard Lewis and John Spencer. That's it. On the contrary, I have 58. Just that I remember, and I have the list of them that I can produce. Multiple organizations, the UN committee. So no, it's not the same. And if we can't look at these two sides of the equation and say, okay, one paper by 6 people and one of them extremely questionable and his ability to be objective considering he's being paid directly by Bibi, versus an enormous amount of experts, many of them Jewish and Israelis, every possible organization, the UN committee. And if we can't look at these two sides of the scale and say, well, it's kind of not the same, then people burn the whole place fucking down.
Yeah, I can respond to you. First of all,
for fuck's sake, not you.
No, let him speak. You interrupted me, so let him speak.
Yes,
this is so...
Sultan. Yeah, I just put the link. Oh, she left as you.
But I mean,
Yes.
This is incredibly stupid. I believe it's a genocide. I don't think Sergio does. But it doesn't change the fact that, it's not going to be hard to find any accredited professional, right? Any accredited historian, genocide scholar who supports Israel and says that, this isn't a genocide, right? Now, I think those people are dumb. I think they're, biased. All sorts of things under the sun, but to just categorically say, one second, Prince, but to just categorically say that, these people don't exist, and anyone who thinks they exist is, bro, there are accredited historians.
Okay, well, you made your point in multiple ways.
I made my point multiple ways. I don't think I made that point to this idiot in the audience, though.
You have already.
You interrupted 20 times.
She gets it. You made your point, and you made your point. We heard it.
Can I continue? Prince.
Okay, but be brief, Sergio.
First of all, Prince.
I'm in my mom's basement.
You must speak funny, okay?
I'm just along for the ride. Oh, you're just along for the ride? my mom's basement. And I ain't got no more Miller High Life. No more Miller Life. No more Budweiser. Benny Morris. Benny Morris. Benny Morris. Benny Morris. Benny Morris. Hello. Hello.
Who's the head of this commission?
We're not debating genocide right now, honestly.
Yes. But I will let me finish about this because it's very important to understand to your audience that she stated that there is no genocide. She's the higher expert inside United Nations. She head of the commission inside United Nations, and she made a statement because she just looked at this for 2 years, okay? And after she just said there is no genocide, guys, she was fired for 1 day from the United Nations.
Okay.
That's what the United Nations is. But it's not the Benny Morris. It's not something like only the historical. It's the head of commission on genocide.
Okay, we heard you. So, Sergio, I think the bigger issue is whether or what facts are worth debating, what nuances are fair to debate, and what is just people denying reality. And I think it's something that as a society we're struggling with. Our media ecosystem is very confusing and hard to trust at this point. Everything's so polarized. So I think that's the larger question we're having here about to what extent these facts can be debated, and to what extent the truth is knowable, to what extent things should be taken as fact or they can be questioned or challenged.
Yes. And yesterday we talked with you about the partisan sources, and I just checked today that New York Times, New Yorker, Guardian, and many others, they just openly endorsed Kamala Harris before the elections. That's what you must know about the partisan sources. Okay, next time when we will speak.
Yeah, you can take your.
I want to ask a question. Oh, Prince, can I ask a question quickly? Are you guys seeing Sultan Sergio, Prince, everyone in the room? Are you guys seeing the many variables to assessing this as genocide? No, I'm saying is this how it's done? Because all of these variables are not being met.
Yeah, the thing at large is genocide is a very subjective determination. That's why if you look at the definition of genocide and look at the definition of ethnic cleansing, it's not really clear where one begins and the other ends.
I see.
So it's really up to each person to say, okay, I'll give you a personal example. So my people in the 60s, 3 million of us were starved to death. Not a single accredited university describes this as a genocide, even though this was deliberate. We have the orders,
Where are you from? What country was it?
I just told you.
But not necessarily because it wasn't, because the optics and the investment and the interest and there are many other things.
I don't.
That's why I asked what the variables.
I don't deny that.
And that was a point Cora was trying to make yesterday, that there's various motivations for experts.
I'm agreeing with all of that, but the point is, at the end of the day, accredited.
No, that's a stupid point, brother. There's a big difference between 1960 and 2026.
As it comes to this, no, because at the end of the day, in 2026, as in 1960, accredited professionals, accredited institutions, all the so-called experts that you say would say that.
I feel like the brown people are complaining. Why are you complaining?
No one's complaining.
But you are complaining,
I don't care. I support what happened to the Igbos, right? Fuck them. Anyway, the accredited professionals that you would say should have determined this was a genocide, said no, it's not. So when we're talking about accredited professionals, why do their opinions necessarily matter so much? All that should be debated, but we just have to provide evidence.
Can I say something when you're done, please?
Yeah, please jump in there.
Okay, please don't interrupt. I want you all to pay very close attention. So, Sultan, you said that the definition of a genocide is often confused with ethnic cleansing. Am I correct?
You can just already make your point. I don't really care.
No, I want to make sure that I heard you correctly.
You barely heard me the first time I was speaking.
Can you clarify? Okay, from what I heard, you can correct me if I misheard you, is that you said that there was no actual definition and that is often confused with ethnic cleansing. However, that is factually incorrect. The definition of the genocide was written by Jacob Lemkin, a Jewish Hungarian Holocaust survivor and lawyer. There is actual the genocide study, the Institute for Genocide Study named after Lemkin. I'm sorry, but there is a very, very clear-cut definition of a genocide, and it is part of the Geneva Convention. There is no confusion regarding this. And anybody that wants, I don't know how to, I'll put a link to an image in the comments or something, but just Google definition of genocide. Literally, images, definition of genocide, will get multiple images with 5 counts, the exact definition of genocide, as written by Jacob Lamkin.
No one.
People get hung up on things like in whole or in part, or it requires to be a substantial number of killings.
He said that it's often confused with ethnical cleansing. Is incorrect. Genocide, very precise, legal definition.
No, because all subjective.
He's gonna reject.
These are all subjective.
Now, Buttercup, look here. He's going to reject this, and this is gaslight.
How about gaslight? Gaslight. You see, this is why I didn't speak, but you said ask the question. These are all man-made legalistic definitions, and legalism change, especially subjected to the organizations who determines them. Yeah, different organizations make different.
All laws are illegal. All laws are man-made. Like, what are you saying, Sultan?
Yeah, no one is
literally in the International Geneva Convention that most of the world signed on.
The case law is pretty solid, right? It's not subjective. It follows a certain scientific method.
Actually, guys,
Actually, case law is extremely subjective. It's actually kind of the point.
Which one?
Yeah.
Which one?
Case law involves a certain way, and it creates precedents, and then the precedent is what it is.
Yeah, but whether or not that precedent is applicable is subjective. That's kind of the point.
Exactly, which is why, okay, you say that it's so easy. What did
you said there is and you literally use the phrase, it's hard to know where one begins and the other ends. Did you not? Did you not?
I don't understand this.
Did anybody else hear him say that?
No one can hear me speaking.
But you can clarify with him.
You guys are going way too far with this. Now you need to analyze.
Because she wants to argue about it.
I think people, with all due respect, Sultan, you like to argue.
No, who's the one arguing now? I'm not the one who went down, came up.
We're going down this like rabbit hole, which is again like not.
This is
relevant. You both agree it's a genocide.
And you say no. You did say A, B, C, and this is the reality. Deal with it.
I'm the one who wants to argue.
Over that, you're an enabler. This is what I was trying to tell.
Anyway, look, we can move on from this because frankly, this show about Zazu really gonna understand sense. And I already said it's a genocide to begin with. So why you're all arguing with me?
Where's the genocide? Where's the genocide?
Riri, what's your deal?
No, I'm just asking where the genocide happened because you keep saying genocide. So I really we don't know you.
You're gonna have to go down because you're not coherent right now.
Yeah, but Ambrose, you just asked a guy, a Sultan, to provide you a Benny Morris article directly, a headline that he.
Okay, we got it. You made your point. Why are you talking about it again?
I want to ask Ambrose. Ambrose, are you accept this?
Look, Sultan, are you there?
Yeah, what's up, Chris?
Sultan, okay, listen. Obviously, there are two groups, two camps. One says it's a genocide, and one says it's not. Now, who the people tend to tune into, they're experts. And there are experts on both sides. But is it the case, or is it not the case, that the experts on the camp of claiming it's a genocide is much larger, more significant, with evidence to prove the claim, as opposed to the other.
Well, what I would say is that their numbers don't even matter. What matters is the evidence they provide, and their evidence is scary, which is why,
Looking at the evidence, the statements by the general leaders, the politicians, even one of them came out to say we use nuclear weapons in Gaza. The starvation statements, evidence from boots on the ground, the absence of any mechanism to protect civilians, opening fire at civilians no matter what the target is. That's that bring you closer to at least believing that there might be a genocide.
No, that's why.
Okay, that's all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I say it's a genocide.
I don't know why you guys are making such a fuss out of this.
Because she keeps saying that, experts this, experts that. Experts said that Israel should exist. Experts say that Israel's not committing any crime. It's a very...
It's insane to put our faith in the experts at all costs and not question and not even have discussions about what the experts... She says we can't even discuss the arguments the experts are making.
Yeah, we have to discuss them.
The experts make arguments and we should engage with those arguments, or what's the point of making the argument?
No, that's fine. I don't think she's wrong for saying that, because at the end of the day, this is not a political matter.
Look, Omar Bartov made it very...
It's a fallacy. It's a fallacy for appeal to authority.
Hold on. I love how people say that it's a fallacy. When they get sick, they go to the authority, which is the doctor. When they get arrested, they go to the authority. You don't say it's a fallacy.
Many recommended doctors. It's because someone is telling me I'm fucking.
We always resort to experts.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Just because I'm disagreeing with you?
No, because you guys always do this fucking clubhouse pseudo-intelligent shit. Intellectual shit. It's not intellectual. It's not.
It's analysis. It's critical thinking and dissecting. That's all it is.
It's not.
What is wrong with you, Prince?
Hold on. You can have your opinion on whether the Earth.
It's not an opinion. It's not an opinion. That's what we're trying to tell you.
If it's not an opinion.
We are trying to come to facts and to some kind of truth value through critical thinking. Why do you think these are opinions? You think some of us just come here to you shut the fuck up, man.
You're interrupting.
Let him finish.
You guys love doing this shit when you don't have the knowledge.
Land your point.
When that shut the fuck up, I didn't make my point to land. Idiot. When that white kid shot the two guys during the BLM riots, everyone became a legal expert. Your fucking opinion doesn't matter because it's a matter of the law. You have to study the law. You have to study the cases prior in order to come to some form of conclusive analysis. None of you have that.
Okay, Prince, I think...
It is a matter of opinion.
Prince, I agree with you that the bottom line is when in doubt, you rely on experts, right? I think what we were discussing yesterday is that in the absence of a final judgment from the ICJ, which is the ultimate authority, what we have is different levels of authority. So we have a UN Commission of Inquiry, right? And that is a very high level of authority. Under that, we have academic opinions, and that's a lower level of authority, right? And under that, we have...
Commission on Genocide also.
And on the same level, that's what we're talking about.
It's a higher.
So we're ranking, we're giving different weight to different authorities. And Emrose was arguing that academic takes is the same level of any court decision. That's just simply not the case.
Of course not.
It is the case that academics are involved in this scholarly work. It is the case that academics were involved in the drafting of the Geneva Convention. It is the case that the people on the court are not just...
Hold on, that is not what I said.
Clarify.
Hold on, I want to say something? Please, nobody interrupt. And can you please, did you look at Sergio's name? Can you please look at it and then drop him?
Sergio, is your name Rose to imitate Emrose? Is that why you changed your name
Can
to
you
Emrose?
please drop him?
So what? It's my
I
name.
can't drop him because then you can't. If I drop him, Emrose, I can't bring you back up. So I can either drop everyone, but I can't keep taking down the hand raising and then turning it back on because then I can't drop people. Do you understand? I can't bring you back up because you moved yourself down too many
Fuck
times.
you and
So
Rose.
if I drop him, then you can't move yourself down
Wow,
again.
this
Because I
app
have to keep.
sucks.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
sure.
a glitch. Okay, just don't go down
This
again.
app sucks. Okay, so please don't interrupt. Look, I'm going to clarify. I did not say that academia is the equivalent of a court ruling, ever. Never in my life have I said it. What I had a problem with is Sultan claiming that he can produce multiple names. Could you, no,
But
don't
you
be an asshole.
interrupted 20 times before, but
Absolutely.
the first time
with them.
Okay, he's muted. Go.
What I was bothered is by Sultan, and please let me finish this so you'll understand. He said that he could produce dozens of names. Now, I know for a fact that is true. However, I can produce, and I have to you, Buttercup, yesterday, a full list organization, a full list of 58 scholars, most of them Jewish and Israelis, because it's very easy to find. The scholars that you are talking about, if they exist, have barely published anything public, let alone have conducted multiple interviews and conversations on the matter publicly and intentionally. And if we can't see that those things do not have the same weight, if you put them on a balancing scale, right, they will not balance. One will be significantly heavier than the other. That is my problem. Academia is not a court ruling, but when you have dozens of academics and organizations and institutes that say one thing, and yes, a few on the other side, but definitely not a match, and we keep claiming, well, this is a, it's a draw. That is a lack of integrity.
the issue, those same institutes also say 48 Israel, for instance, is not occupied territory. That the Israeli government, including the current Israeli government, is the correct legal sovereign jurisdiction over that territory. Those same institutes.
What did they say?
They say 48 Israel is not
Name
occupied.
what?
Yeah,
Make sure you
I-
type up the organizations.
The UN.
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay, perfect. But you disagree with that?
I disagree with that morally, yes, but I don't disagree with that is the legal ruling.
Perfect. Well, so what you want to say that, we should defer to experts. Okay, I ask which experts? Because those same experts said that, Ben Gavir.
But this is
No, they didn't. No, hold on. Hold on.
You asked me not to interrupt. You're doing a very good job.
Let him finish and then Emerald's done. We'll give you the mic.
This is amazing. Anyway, those same experts, right, and those same institutions, you like their conclusions when they agree with stuff that you say, right? And like I said, I think it's a genocide. But then you don't like them when they disagree with stuff that you say. So
Did I reject them or not respect them?
This is about the 25th interruption. At this point, I have to assume it's because I'm black. Are you racist against black people?
Is it racist?
Perhaps it's because all you try to
It's because they're black. It's because I'm black. Why are you so racist to black people?
Absolutely. When the black people are just saying something.
Buttercup, really? Again?
Why
I think you're racist against black people. I think MLK died for nothing.
How the hell do you want to have an intellectual conversation?
How can we have a discussion when you interrupt every 2 seconds?
He's the right
You can't even
guy.
have a dumb discussion.
Again,
Much less an intellectual.
for the million,
For the million and one time you've interrupted me. For
you're making claims about me
36,
that I have never said.
At this point, it must be because I'm going to call you
Alright,
KK.
you're being intellectually dishonest, Sultan. She doesn't even know that you're black. How's she supposed to?
She keeps interrupting when she keeps saying the most.
She knows she's from Nigeria.
You're going to say false.
Yeah, she knows
You're
I'm from
saying
Nigeria.
false claims about me.
Yeah, because you keep interrupting. All I've done is ask.
Interrupt when you say incorrect things about me.
How about you? Yeah, because I'm speaking. It's not you who's speaking. I let you speak uninterrupted the whole time.
You make your point, Sultan. You made your point very clear.
I've been trying to. I would have been if it wasn't for one person. But
Alright, guys, this is getting really tedious. I'm gonna just say time out in a minute. Move on. New comment.
Okay, institutions, they make questionable decisions, so there's only so much that we can put our stake and hope and faith in them. And yeah, you're racist.
Oh. He's being an idiot.
That's it? Okay, well, first of all, I did not reject institute or international resolutions or decisions, nor did I ever claim to. The fact that I think that they are immoral, yes, I get to say that. That doesn't mean I contest them or claim that they are not real or fictional, which is what a lot of the people here do. And again, this whole thing started because of something very specific that you said. Why won't you acknowledge that you were simply wrong?
Because I'm not, and because the beginning of where genocide.
You said you could provide dozens of experts.
Again, because I'm black. I'm sorry.
What does that have to do
Let's
with you
begin.
being black?
I'm going to get the white hood for you, right? I think the white hood is appropriate. Anyway,
Colton, you're full of shit. You're not even black. You're just fucking stirring shit around.
No, you're right.
At the end of the day,
now we have KKK Rose
at the end of the day,
white
it
power
comes
back.
down to something very simple.
At the end of
You
the day,
said you
there's
could very
another
easily produce. You said you could very easily produce dozens of experts,
Yes, I can.
but you have not.
Oh, I have. I do
however, have.
ChatGPT
Then
is
please
my
produce
friend.
them. Please produce them
ChatGPT is
now.
not racist.
No. I did not refer to
Fucking
ChatGPT.
Sultan,
I
fucking
provide you everything, but you cannot.
Ain't racist unlike you.
Okay, so alright,
This is the time for all of you to be intellectually, to have intellectual integrity and say, you made a claim that you cannot back up.
Well, I can.
The other side made a claim that they can back up.
we're not even debating the genocide. What we're debating is the veracity of like how much weight to give academic scholars over other authoritative sources. But we already have a more authoritative source, so it's kind of moot. We have the UN Commission of Inquiry that is already.
You need to acknowledge that somebody can't say, I can produce dozens of experts when he can't. Because that's misleading information.
We've already met a higher threshold of credibility. Why do we need to compete? Why do we need
allowing misinformation to be?
Why do we need to battle each other
without addressing
There's only one person battling.
Then people can say whatever they want, however they want, and nobody will challenge them. And 2 + 2 = 5.
So the outcome we want is the same, right? We want to demonstrate that it is a genocide, and the way you do that is by using as strong and airtight and foolproof of an authoritative source as you can. And a UN commission is far more authoritative than a list of scholars.
Provide sources. Buttercup, he hasn't provided anything.
He agrees with a genocide. He's on your team. The outcome is the same.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Forget about my team. People make claims that they throw into empty space and you just let them. If you're going to make a claim, back it up. Otherwise, we can all make every fucking claim in the world that we want.
But the stakes of this claim is not the same level of whether it's a genocide. He agrees it's a genocide. He's convinced.
The integrity is the same integrity. If you can't admit that you've raised something wrong and take it back, then there's no point in having a conversation.
So you
can't produce dozens of experts because they don't exist. Just acknowledge it.
There's only one of us who wants to argue about meaningless things like this, and that's
we're debating over the threshold of proof. We're not debating over whether it's a genocide. We should focus on high stakes things that actually matter and will make a difference in the world and make people stop dying. It's not going to make more or less people die whether or not Sultan trusts academics.
Yeah, the question is, okay, so like I think Buttercup, I'm on there with you. 90%, like a great deal number of people who aren't supposed to be biased, who are supposed to be fair and look into what's going on in Gaza, basically have established that it's a genocide. Now, what's the question? What is after that, right? Okay, it's a genocide. Now, what next, right? I think we can move on to the next point.
But that's exactly what he's contesting.
No,
he's not contesting whether he can produce.
I'm sorry, but if we're going to address this, you said we're talking about the credibility of proof, right?
No.
He made a claim.
Well, I guess I can.
If he cannot back it up, and we cannot demand him
there's always going to be people.
because he
But it's Emeralds, we have a higher standard.
No, it's not.
Yeah, but there are. I hate to.
We've already demonstrated that it's a genocide. If you consider, academic scholars credible, then you certainly consider a UN Commission of Inquiry
It's not
credible,
about
right?
that. It's about the way we conduct a discourse. If he can throw a claim into the air of I can produce dozens of experts and doesn't back it up, then he has the obligation to retract that statement.
No.
If you make a
I'm never
statement
going to retract
and people ask you to back it up, then provide the backing.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna retract my statement.
Fine, Sultan, if you don't want to distract it, just produce your ChatGPT generated list. Go, do it.
Why would I waste? Why would
So
I
we
waste
can move the
time?
fuck on, okay? This is tedious.
I've been trying to.
Produce it.
It's your friend who doesn't want to move
Put
on.
it in your PCR now so we can
I've
move
been
the fuck.
trying to. It's your friend who doesn't want to move on, Buttercup. You just don't
Put it in your PCR so we can settle this. If you can in fact find a dozen.
I wanted to move on minutes
Yes,
ago.
but if you
Let's
can in
move
fact
on.
find a
Let's all
dozen
of us
scholars,
move on.
if you can find a dozen
Move
scholars.
on. Move
on.
Next.
You're just making your friend
This
look
is
like
stupid.
the cheating
Next.
because she wants to
Next.
argue for the sake of
Sultan, yeah, okay, fine. We know. We
Next.
just let's move on.
Okay. How about Rose and Sultan don't talk for a little bit?
Yeah,
This is ridiculous.
this is tiring as fuck.
Yeah, this is like the epitome of Clubhouse right here.
Yeah. It distracts from the larger point, which I think is making connections and helping bring people to your side, or maybe being open to learning new information. I mean, that's the purpose of these conversations.
Okay, but we can't move on until Sultan retracts his statement.
No, Sultan,
Sultan,
stop it.
go
Sultan,
down.
stop your trolling.
Next person to bring this up goes down. Sorry.
Yeah.
All you're saying is burden of proof is on you when you make it. And Sultan did say, like, go open channel.
Marius, please just ignore it. Move on. You're fucking feeding the troll.
I'm just giving
You're feeding the troll. You're feeding the troll, Marius. So,
Anyway, this is a really
it's
nice
been
discussion.
I want you people to realize that he can't back it up.
Rose, go down. Rose, go down.
Wait,
Rose, go down.
Empress, I love you, but this is really like
Rose, go
I
down.
thought the next
Please.
person to bring it up
Sultan,
and
go
get it
down.
moved down. Are you not a woman of your
Buttercup, throw her down. This is ridiculous.
I'm not throwing her down.
Why? You just said you would.
They shut me up to give
Now you're not credible, Buttercup.
Listen, we're all we've all harped on like irrelevant details in our lives, and it's fine.
I mean, one person is doing it a lot more than everyone else, so just...
All right, final
Sultan,
warning.
stop it.
Okay, final warning. Next person to bring up the fucking
You
list.
promise, Buttercup, this time?
Yeah, the next one to do it gets muted, and you get one mute warning, and then you go down. If it's the second time, you
So as
bring
I
it
was
up.
saying when Sultan was saying.
Don't feed
Hey,
the fucking
all right,
troll,
Nargis,
Nargis.
that's your final warning.
Okay, but let's be honest.
Can someone like
Okay, that's your final warning too,
Anything at all?
Sultan.
Come on.
Now you're Sultan and Rose just fucking
Tell us
get
a story
down.
from your childhood. Mr. X, tell us more stories from your childhood. What kind of a house did you grow up in?
Thank
Did you
you.
have animals? Did you have a farm?
Don't do this. Buttercup.
Why not?
Oh my god, it's gonna be long.
Why not? What?
One thing I can say, if I can get a bit meta here, Buttercup, is there's always going to be people using like what if this particular detail without looking at the situation, just saying, this is wrong. And their purpose is to muddy the waters and stall for time. So if, and let's just for argument's sake say yes, absolutely there's genocide going on in Gaza. Then the next,
We all agreed there's a
yes,
genocide.
yes.
The
So
question
then what
was
is next? What is next? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
So I think that is
All right,
a better
that's fine. Let's do it. Next topic. What's after the genocide? What does accountability look like? What does justice look like? First of all, the war criminals need to go to jail, right? Or be tried.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Bring the filthy out, expose them, and then build. Rebuild. We destroy, we build. We destroy, we build.
Yeah, the people of Israel deserve a much better leader than this.
Like, how much culpability do we give to the rank and file soldier versus like the military leader versus the leadership of Israel versus the people who didn't necessarily participate in the genocide but like tacitly supported it, right? Like propagandists. Like what level of culpability do each of them have?
That's a very hard question,
I would love to hear Emrys's opinion on this. I feel like she would have a
hard and yet necessary to address, I think. Matthew,
this was after the Holocaust.
I think the most practical thing is to look at how other nations that committed similar crimes were treated, and it's the same thing, you know. There's got to be a methodology for dealing with things like this. How did the Hutsis and Tutsis or whatever, how did, you know, any other nation that's committed crimes, how were they, how was the situation
You know what, Matt?
rectified?
You know what's sad, Matt? Like some of these nations went unrecognized.
Yeah, 100% they did.
Yeah, so I try to avoid that, I think, on a greater scale. Such
Hard.
this is not just understood as another event, another war, but something of great consequence, right? And this is how we even kept the Holocaust alive, by repeating the stories, by bringing it up, by exposing oppression, oppressor, etc. So such should be, I think, the means by which we're going to expose this whole thing and keep it alive in some sense, right? Alongside.
Oh, that's one thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then other nations, like, you know, the Turks did horrific things to a lot of people, but
yeah, like the Armenians.
as far as I understand, they didn't, they weren't punished all that much for it.
And the 100-something countries don't even recognize it as a genocide.
Yeah.
Just saying, so.
No, but Sultan is right. This is why I said, like, much of it gets buried in the freaking crumbles of history, whilst some others are glorified, and this should not be the case. If we are truly a human family.
Oh, look what's going on there, and again, between Russia and Ukraine. I mean, the Russians killed 7 million Ukrainians, and then they're going through a similar thing now.
Oh, you mean Holodomor? I mean, that's also not recognized as a genocide by really much of
It's
any.
absolutely a genocide.
Well, I mean, according to which experts? According to which experts, though?
Well, I don't have it on me now, but I know that it was documented quite thoroughly and approximately 7 million.
And most academics in Russia, the U.S., and everywhere else say that, yeah, it's not a genocide.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people that say it is. So let's say it is. Let's you know, if a whole lot of people are killed, then let's suggest it was.
I think actually, I don't think the academic consensus is that it was a genocide.
Exactly. But you see why they act things like expert opinion. It's better to just go on evidence. Yet 7 million people die in a famine organized by the Central Politburo of the Soviet Union, where they were confiscating grain from people. Yeah, that's a fucking genocide.
Yeah.
I don't need Harvard, Brown, Cambridge, or the UN itself to tell me that, yeah, that's a genocide for it to be.
Yeah, personally, I don't need to either, you know. Personally, I don't need that, you know, either. I mean, it was, there's so many hundreds of thousands of photos of what happened and so many millions of documents.
It helps to have someone, in Amrose's defense, it helps to have someone who's deeply knowledgeable about international law and all the technicalities and all the minutiae and how it compares to previous genocides to help you curate an opinion. But these people, they put their... Omer Bartov, in his New York Times article, he's one of the first people to lay out clearly with evidence. We didn't just take his word for it. He presented evidence, explained why it met the definition of a genocide, so that we could be convinced. And so, like, it helps to have these experts who are deeply knowledgeable about it.
Of course. What I'm saying is that some people are so very biased that they tighten the definition for genocide. They make it almost nearly impossible. Like, you know, no genocide has ever been committed, except for, you know, one that fits my particular narrative or something like that. Some people tighten it up, and
virtually every genocide has been disputed anyway by someone, right? Like,
yeah, exactly, and that's not really the greater point. The greater point is that even the people that are on this quote-unquote whatever in-group or side that's committing the genocide, they're suffering too because they're losing their humanity, and it's just not good for anybody, you know?
I don't think that word increases solidarity very much. I think it just creates polarization and confusion.
It does.
Let's focus on solidarity between our peoples and third parties. It's so funny that all the third-party nations, they like to watch the fight.
There's probably some people that, are thoroughly anti-Semitic and thoroughly anti-Muslim that would like to see the Jews and Arabs kill each other, I'm sure there's people like that.
Thing, yeah, a lot of countries are both anti-Islamic and anti-Semitic. But anyway, let's focus on solidarity. We like kebabs. We like falafel. We like taking care of nature. There's a lot of cool things.
It's a matter of trust, isn't it? It's a matter of people trying to trust one another.
Actually, I support climate change.
And I would say it's a matter of even.
I also hate falafel.
It's also
You get what I'm saying, but
tolerance, Yeah.
let's discuss things that bring us together.
Well, no. Because, again, that's
a good idea.
No, but that doesn't solve anything, right? Like, we're all humans.
Yes, it does.
Oh, I think it very much
I was
does.
in graduate school for peace studies. Let's find commonality.
That's lovely.
It's necessary.
There are 1,000,001 commonalities you can find with someone who's trying to stab you, or someone who's literally eradicate half of humanity or anything like that.
Yeah, you both have knives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't like knives, but the point is though.
Anyways, the order of business today is love and solidarity. Why derail that?
Because his titles like that. Where'd he go? I don't know where he went. But anyway, the whole blind love and solidarity thing is kind of misleading given the topic. Not because love and solidarity are bad, but because you're trying to address an issue of justice. So love and solidarity without justice is meaningless.
That's true too. That's true too. I mean, if some folks in the West Bank, if their intention is just to take land and get some land, and they're not going to compromise, you do have to lay down a greater law and say, hey, you can't do that. But what you can do is you can make a house next to an Arab and then bring in the love and solidarity and say, hey, look, you guys aren't so different. Please don't kill each other. Okay? And I think it's also a matter of self-awareness where, again, because I had PTSD, or still do, I suppose you never really get over it, but it's kind of this sort of self-awareness where you realize that the brain tricks you into seeing evil things and bad things where they don't always exist. Distrust is a very viral sort of thing. Hatred is a very viral sort of thing. And again, it probably goes back to Austin's peace studies.
Okay, but again, did the Arab who lost get his house back? Did the Arab that was arbitrarily detained by the Israeli military, did he get his, what's the word, compensation?
Justice. Yeah, he needs it.
And for that matter, I'll even be fair, just to throw a bone to the other side, to the Jew who lost his family in some, bus attack.
Yeah.
Get justice.
No, they both sides have to get justice in a fair way, and it has to be divvied out in a very careful way. Because if justice is divvied out to one side and not the other, then you have bad feelings all around, right? Exactly. I was thinking about this. If I was in Kyiv and I was Ukrainian, I would hate, probably, honest to God, I'm just human just like everybody else. I would hate every fucking Russian that I ever saw. I would hate them to my guts. I just would.
You're pro-Zelensky, yeah.
Well, I'm Slovak, and the Russians do bad things to us too. Yeah. But I'm just saying, it's an example, because I'm human, I shouldn't generalize like that. Probably there's millions and millions of Russians that absolutely hate Zelensky, but my mind would want to generalize. My mind would want to go to the default position of every Russian is evil. I hate these people. There is nothing they can do to ever make me change my mind. So that has to be dealt with as well.
Okay, but you can think every Russian is evil. In fact, you can be justified from that perspective, because the overwhelming majority of Russians don't believe that Ukraine should even exist. But it comes down to what you do with those like actions, right?
With those feelings.
Yeah, do you like decide to just like blow up a random like bus station of Russians, throw like suicidal drones at Russian apartment buildings, like certain presidents of Ukraine decided to do, or otherwise?
And then, if I did that, then just even more bad feelings, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's a fucking hard. It's 22 all around. You know, I'm stressed, and then especially in Israel and Palestine because they're so small. You know, and everybody on either side has such small margin for error. And I would even posit that everybody in that area, Palestinians and Israelis, all have PTSD to one extent or another. Trust doesn't go that far, you know? Everybody's hardened, their hearts are hardened. And then, like, how do you deal with that, you know?
No, not like that, brother. We are living in a peaceful way. We are busy with our
just
trees,
insane
with our
people
crops,
who are
with
just
our
filled with hate.
with our land,
And,
that, and we expect
yeah,
the
they
settler
said,
to come and
I tried to raise my hand and say, they're like, we're not bringing you up.
try to cooperate
Shoot,
between
we'll
each
put you in
other.
a fucking oven. I was like, holy shit.
We are not interested to hurt anybody. Many times,
wants to be more challenging, so I'm not going to say that I'm trading for silver to a Rolex, and I'm only going to pull out the bracelet after I choose what product I want, and bring them a solid. If not, then it's not
crying as usual. You know, ugly, stupid, young people, ugly. I believe them, you know. We give them to be here. You Google it, Kusra, you write Kusra.
14 karat.
A village.
Prince, do you feel that you're at peace?
What else you have in that range? Like these?
Given all that's happened.
Always believe them.
That's
my solos for 14 on top.
Do you think that
That man who I used to go out at the time when I was very young.
Let's see what we can get. We had our option. We see which one's better, and we keep on going. I want to ask you, how much are these clothing earrings?
But Prince, would you say that you're at peace? And the majority of your people feel at peace?
What are you doing with it? Tell me what you're doing. I'm not asking for anything. Are you giving it away?
Yeah, I mean, good question. Any of the Israelis or the people who feel tied to that side, do you feel that you guys are at peace? Mood seems to suggest that
How can
everyone's
you
just
be
like...
at peace when justice is not served?
Well, I mean, Mood says that everyone is just going around picking olives, you know, and frolicking and singing Kumbaya.
We are a fucking poor villagers, and we get used for foreigners. You imagine if somebody, for example, listen, this is very important. Through the history, we get used for foreigners. We like foreigners. Wallahi, we like foreigners. We used to them. But those fucking bastards, at the beginning, wallahi, my father told me that we get benefit from the immigrant at the beginning, you know?
Oh, yes. The mafia make you fight each other.
Listen, brother. Wallah, I swear God, you know, the beginning of the immigrant for the Jewish, the same for Armenian and the Greeks and other, you know, Greeks happened in Europe. We welcome them. We get no problem. Not only the fucking mandate, the British mandate, we as a people, you know, we welcome them. They come and live neighbors. They rent places.
How does that work out?
No, but it was the pastors who made them fight each other. It was the pastors who made them fight each other. They were throwing Bibles at each side and said, "Oh, go fight."
Yeah, at the beginning, you know, we don't imagine that are going to make militants and they are going, you know, to make war against us as we are not ready for a fight or any other stuff. You get what I mean? We don't have any weapons. Usually we don't have much weapons.
Listen,
we have
sometimes being a doormat, you know, it's just being polite and kind, but sometimes it doesn't work out.
Brother, something happened like this, you know. We was, you know, simple people there was, you know, they are happy, some people, villagers, they are happy to kiss girls from the back of the glass, and they pay money. She put her this is reality. They are happy, you know, to see.
What time period was this?
You know what's a funny thing? So Amos actually used to talk like this at the beginning. Yeah, I don't know if you guys knew him from.
Yeah, but he learned.
Yeah, after October 7th, he went like this.
Exactly. You believe it, brother? They used to make the Palestinian announcement and the flags and other fucker stuff, and they sell it to the Arab.
Anything
they make money.
Coexistence was not good for his existence.
Listen, please, sister.
Baby.
Baby, yeah, baby. Always you're my baby. Ever, forever. This is real, you know. Our people was, even though, you know, our Palestine is rich.
I have to give a disclaimer to Benny Goy. Disclaimer.
What Benny Goy?
I know Benny Goy.
I'm just giving a disclaimer, okay? You mentioned doormat, and I mentioned lack of, absence of intelligence. This character does not represent Palestinians in any way, shape, or form.
No. I am telling you, simple.
But he was a fighter for the PLO.
I was a fighter, yes, I'm proud to say that. I am soldier.
Which group did you fight for?
I was militant Palestinian Liberation Army.
الجيش الشعبية يعني؟
حبيبي جيش التحرير الفلسطيني.
جيش التحرير.
I'm an old man. I'm 65.
جيش التحرير؟
جيش التحرير حبيبي. انا مع اليرموك، مع الوالي اليرموك في الاردن.
Okay.
It's in Jordan, you know. I have my, when I get sentenced, I have improvement, if you like. I still keep it. They give me 7 sentences at that time. And I already, I confessed that I belong to the,
people like you ought to stick to knitting. Can you believe that?
Soldier, you know. They caught us. They caught me, my friend. I don't care, Buttercup. Don't afraid from me. Nergis, nobody afraid from me. Caleb.
Wait, hold on. How old are you?
Nobody afraid.
مش جيش التحرير كان لسوريا.
اسمع, no, hold on. How old are you, Moot?
I am 65.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, that math is not mathing, bro.
You were 10 years old, bro. Get the hell out of here.
What you said?
جيش التحرير was in the 60s, wasn't it?
So you were a soldier. So you were a soldier in Jordan مع جيش التحرير الفلسطيني, right?
لا حبيبي.
What year? Hold on. What year?
This is exactly in 1975.
Okay. And in 1978, 79, you were 16 or 17, and you blew up while you exploded an explosive device in Naples, right?
That's correct. عندي لليوم. I still have. This is what you call it, when you the sentences, The sentences when they sentence.
I know you were arrested by the Israelis. I know you were. And I know إنك كنت عامل في إسرائيل. غير هيك, just leave us alone.
Jindeb. I know somebody. His name is Jindeb from Deir al-Hatab. What is his name? Let me remind. He was jailed in the same period with me. I was a youngest boy.
There's a party happening.
The youngest prisoner.
What's going on?
I was the youngest prisoner in 1976. I was a youngest prisoner on all. Sorry.
Fucking dancing prince.
You got what I mean? I have evidence. You can get when I go back, to visit. I will take pictures, send it to you.
Put a picture in your PTR. We want to see.
What PTR?
In your profile, we want to see the picture of you and
Not now. Not now.
We're gonna have you're gonna ask of you and Amos both in your uniforms.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
I want
But
to.
we are young. And we are old. Listen, Buttercup, anyway, to be honest, what happened, our story is a fucking sad story, in my village, we get warned because we have already business with some companies at that time and some famous people, from Sasson, this is very famous family, big family from Iraq. If you ask Sasson and Jacobi, Abraham, Sasson, Jacobi, those names, big names, big families,
Sasson is
We get-
from my people. Sasson is a Persian one.
Sasson.
Are you Persian?
Not Persian, Sasson. Their family name, Sasson.
How do you pronounce Ibrahim?
Abraham Sasson.
Yes. What about him? What do we say about them? That they were. You know them?
In Blappes, he's a joint venture. He was a joint venture with my father, a long time ago. Before,
He's
this
his
is
Jewish
I'm
friend.
talking.
His father's
Yeah,
friend.
not friend, adventure. They have
They're investors.
Wait, he's friends with the Sasson family.
Mossad and
Yes.
Oh my god.
Take it easy. Before it is different, the situation is different.
The situation is different. The Sassons are literally known as the Rothschilds.
My teacher is a Jewish.
Wait, when Mr. X is loaded, he has like 4 houses. He has a house in Jordan. He's in a house
Yes, and Nablus also.
in Nablus. This guy is like a.
Jerusalem. In Jerusalem,
There's 4 fucking houses. This guy, it's believable. He's a business.
It's not his wealth. It's the Sasson family. The Sasson family is connected with a lot of very interesting things at the end of the Ottoman Empire that
I understood about them. Tell us. No, he can address it. What is this?
I don't feel like mentioning it. It doesn't. We can discuss it later.
But don't allude to it.
There's a reason.
Should I ask ChatGPT?
Even if you try to go through the history of the Sassons and so on and so forth, I don't think he would understand. He wouldn't understand anything of it. Anything about it. He wouldn't. I don't know how this character is put together.
he's right.
Yeah, he's.
What are you? Listen, Jindib. We can coexist. We can live together. But the problem with the mentality sometimes, if they believe in it, they don't like to see you. Buttercup, you believe it, Buttercup?
Do I believe your dad was in business with Sasson? I don't know the Sassons.
I used to hide my name in Tel Aviv. Nobody know my exact name. You believe it? I'm still young. I don't like anybody. My name in Tel Aviv, Sasson. Forget.
Wait, your name is Sasson?
No.
You hide your name because you have a high-profile name. You have a famous name.
No. At that time,
Are you in the
I have another name. I used to use another name, while I'm in Tel Aviv.
This guy is
He's a gangster.
You believe like half of the stories, right? But like there's
He's
still
a gangster. I want to dedicate a song to my love, Daniel, in the audience, with your permission, Buttercup. Here you go, Daniel. I love you.
Allah Allah.
Or Hatikva. We can play Hatikva. Hatikva is a beautiful national anthem. It is a beautiful.
What do you want me to play?
You could look up Hatikva. Hatikva.
Spell it.
Hatikvah.
You're really okay with that?
Of course.
Why not?
Okay. I give you credit.
It's a gorgeous song.
What is it?
Objectively, it's the really
Song of Hope. National anthem.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bet Mood knows this.
No one knows it by heart.
It's just someone's taught it to him.
Is this the one?
Buttercup.
Pepper?
Buttercup.
Yes.
קוראים לי ניסים.
Oh, they call you Nisim? They give you a Hebrew name?
Yeah.
In your past life?
I just remember. Nisim, Anasim. I used to call myself Nisim.
It means you're miracles. They call you miracles. That's what it means.
Really?
Yeah. They said you're a miracle. That's what they named you.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're a miracle, all right.
Is it now my turn to play music?
They call him Nisim.
Yes.
Yes, can I play something now?
Yes, please.
Of course.
Let me play something first.
You gotta turn on music mode for your music to work on your phone.
Okay. Let me know when.
Change your sound mode to music and then.
Okay, let me know when somebody wanted before me.
Betty wants to go.
Seriously?
This is how you know. This is how you know. So this is how you know what? It's how you know you're out of touch with the current zeitgeist of even the peace movement. I like the song, man. What do you have against it? It's a lovely song, but you're just but it's like.
Okay, do you want a song or something else?
Okay.
Yes, sing. Go, Memrose, it's on you.
I'm trying to sing like a song, live, Miftah, okay.
Buttercup, a song or something else?
Whatever you want, your choice.
Okay.
We start with
I'm sorry. I don't want to be an emperor.
Oh shit, that's a really good song.
I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. Think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The airplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. Millions of despairing men, women, and children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die. And the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men, with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man, nor a group of men. All men, and you, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create us. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future, and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to freedom, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite.
There was a remix to this one.
Rest in peace, Charlie Chaplin. Amen. 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 Like it?
Love him. Love it.
Love it.
Love it. Yeah.
Get chill.
You know Charlie Chaplin.
Now, do you want to go for something fun?
Yeah.
But it's possible mostly Palestinians will laugh.
It's okay.
Let's give it a try anyway.
Charlie Chaplin was a Zionist too.
David Horowitz, when he was in California, was one of his mentors. Stephen Miller has been architecting this career since he was 16 or 17. You know, the Duke thing, you just got lucky.
Well, it was an opportunity that presented itself, and he had like I said, Fox News became the platform where he could go, and they were more than happy to give him the space to rant. Imagine being right under those circumstances.
I know. It's really horrible.
If you keep saying stuff, sooner or later, something you say is going to be right. Like Alex Jones, every one in a million things he says is actually right.
I mean, it's just one of the biggest stories of any of our lifetimes. I mean,
You think of it as that?
the Duke
Lacrosse
lacrosse
scandal?
scandal?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cultural event. Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, oh, for sure.
The Rolling Stone one, too? I mean, they would go in the same chapter, maybe. You know what I'm talking about?
No, break it down.
The woman, Rolling Stone reporter, said that there were all of these extremely misogynist, sexist hazing practices that were taking place.
Oh, I remember that one. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that one. No, this was bigger. This was bigger because of the faculty involvement. It was bigger because, remember, the prosecutor.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, this is a huge. It's strange. It's a strange. Mel, you should know about this one. Mel said, fuck Duke for giving him $20 million. They're lucky it was only $20 million. Yep. They're lucky it was only $20 million. It was really bad.
Yeah, my best friend, her big sister, was at Duke at the time. Shout out to the Duke Deltas or whatever. Yeah. It was huge. It was huge. And I think a lot about, and I have thought a lot about, I'm so glad I didn't have a public platform at that time. Because I would have been out there. I would have been. Just those people got so humiliated. People who put their whole lives and careers and reputations on the line. And the instinct was not wrong. I don't think the instinct, but man, they got really harangued.
So I'm looking at his Wikipedia. He left. Oh, look at the picture of the dude. What a beautiful campus. Wow, I'd like to see it one day. It's beautiful. I've never seen it. He went to Breitbart after. So he went to work in Congress. He said Sessions correct, and then he was at Breitbart. I mean, he is. Remember, he met Richard Spencer. Y'all remember Richard Spencer?
Yeah, of course. He was. He's him. As far as I'm concerned, he's still important. Or the Ku Klux Klan or whatever, he's Nazi, Aryan, what is it called?
When's the last time anybody really thought about... He's pretty low-key these days. Okay, but sorry, keep going.
He fell off. Yeah, he fell off. But still, like I was say, Stephen Miller's career, that's... Pick the ideology, but he did get luck. I mean, he did happen to be at the right place when this came. But he is, y'all don't like this, he's a model for many people who want to get to the highest levels of their field, who on their own dint, personality, and likability would otherwise not get to the highest levels. I was looking at Wikipedia, he used to call into the Larry Elder show when he was in high school. To your point, Kim, that he's been architecting this forever.
Yes. I mean, the thing that I recognize in Stephen Miller, I know a lot of people who've been ideologues since they were children. I might be a person who's been an ideologue since I was a kid. He had vision.
100%.
Another example, Ben, is immediately after January 6th, you notice how Trump people were distancing themselves from Trump and everything. Stephen was the only person who stood by him through and through, and pretty much kept doing the same thing again as he did with the Duke lacrosse scandal. Constantly going on Fox, and in fact, it's my understanding that he was instrumental in getting Elon Musk to help him fund whatever lawsuits he was doing against the Biden administration, and then eventually connecting Elon with Donald Trump.
Oh, that's exciting.
So, yeah, he's a believer. There is a podcast episode of the New York Times. This was done over, I remember listening to it about, it might have been about a year and a half ago, something like that, where his name came up again, and they did a really good profile of the man, how he managed to get himself all the way up to the powerful position he's in.
It's obviously not OJ, but I would say post 9/11, I can't think of another cultural call celeb and anti-call celeb. I can't describe it either way. That matches the Duke lacrosse scandal. And what's interesting about it, I think a lot of people forget about it. It was on the eve of Obama. So Obama coming in roughly 2 years later, people kind of forget about it. But there was still a lot of simmering, obviously in him and others, from the Duke lacrosse scandal. I mean, the woman is in prison now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you kept up with it?
For something else, not for that.
No. Yeah, she killed her boyfriend or something.
Oy.
Oh yeah, and then she admitted that it was a scam. I think we all know that.
So
But
you
yeah,
He did an interview last year.
I got it.
You think you think this created an enormous anti-black backlash?
I don't think so.
So why is it so significant?
Oh, I just think it was more like an anti-woke. Like when do people get woke? Someone right there with a history of what y'all conservatives call woke. This is there. This got a lot of people in today.
Yeah.
Believing all women thing, the backlash of Me Too. People don't know it, but it's in the background.
It's there. It's also the way that the faculty of Duke got involved. I think that
But that thing continued. That wokeness continued.
I remember distinctly being like, oh, maybe I should put Duke on the list because there was a big letter from the faculty, right?
It was.
Yes.
The 15 or the 6. There was a number that they had.
And I just thought, oh, wow, I want to go somewhere where the faculty are so brave.
Yeah. You know the irony of that? You could have gone there. It just wouldn't have been Duke. Many of them left. You may have ended up in a place where some of them were because they left.
So this writer kind of came from the Seattle Times. He was a new New York Times reporter from the Times, experienced there. They gave him what they call a double truck spread inside, which means 2 full pages facing each other, which they rarely do. And the whole thing was completely wrong. And he was, as I said a moment ago, he was my mentor. He done this is the thing about investigative reporters, they're always looking for something, and they can be wrong. He did a report on judges in Seattle, and the day before the publication, you give people a heads up, this is coming out. The judge hung himself.
Oh, shit.
That's tough.
Well, in this instance, to be fair to your friend, I mean, people were just lying to him because we know that the DA, the prosecutor, was disbarred for lying.
Of course.
I mean, Mayo, that's the other part. I don't know if you know. The prosecutor lied about a bunch of evidence and got caught. He not only got fired, he was disbarred. He may have actually faced criminal.
That was in Epstein file.
But I wonder if he did any shooting.
There's some street food for you to. Yeah, why are they coming to us? God damn.
So I remember the 30 for 30. I knew that something had happened to Naifang, but I just looked this up. He was the first prosecutor, Naifang, the first prosecutor in North Carolina history disbarred for trial conduct.
Yeah, and the only one. First and only still.
Wait, were they convicted at trial?
No, it's him. No, no.
So what was his trial conduct that got him disbarred?
He had lied about, hold on. He had lied about.
And they were acquitted?
Let me pull it up. Hold on. Let me tell you where it was.
Maybe it's for professional conduct, because I thought they sort of threw the thing out before it went to trial. These kids' lives were, obviously they had to withdraw from Duke and everything.
Oh, they graduated.
Oh, I thought they withdrew.
Oh, no.
Maybe they withdrew for a while and then went back to get their degree.
Yeah, they graduated.
Okay, he withheld exculpatory DNA evidence showing that genetic material from multiple unidentified men was found on the accuser and none from any Duke players, and then misled the court and defense about those results. He made inflammatory prejudicial public statements proclaiming the player's guilt during an ongoing investigation, violating ethics rules on pretrial publicity and defendants' right to a fair process. This is from scholarship.law.duke.
Yeah, there's a name for that obligation to provide exculpatory evidence. I'm looking it up now. That's an important, it's an important part of due process. I'm looking it up now. I think a lot of prosecutors do it. He just got nailed for it.
Yeah, that's what it was. Here it is. So the evidence,
Brady
the exculpatory.
It might be. I'm checking now. It might be.
The exculpatory evidence, he would have submitted before the trial, so it never got to trial. And then, watch this. The soon-to-be senator from North Carolina, Roy Cooper, was the attorney general at the time, and he dropped the charges against the three lacrosse scandals. Against the three lacrosse scandals. Oh my God! Against the boys.
Brady material, they call it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm telling you, male brother, you gotta watch. They got documentaries. You gotta read about it. It was huge. I mean, it was really huge. People were. Oh, and there was another one. I remember this was also the time. Yeah, there was the one that Norm said about the Rolling Stone, but there was also the Rick Pitino scandal, where he was getting prostitutes. Remember this? He was getting prostitutes. I think it was at Louisville. Y'all remember this?
No, but maybe if you hum a few
Yeah,
bars.
he was getting prostitutes. I think he got fired from Louisville basketball team because they were eating prostitutes.
Yeah, I remember
It was like this thing around college sports and recruiting, and He Got Game had come out maybe not too long before, and it kind of exposed. When did that come out? He Got Game.
Yes,
2000.
this is in my peak of wanting to go to college for sports journalism. This is
Yeah. He Got Game was 1998, and then we saw how they would bring in the girls, but Rick Pitino, under him, they were bringing in basically similar to the lacrosse thing, bringing them to the strip or whatever, and then they would have sex with them. It was like a whole thing. So yeah, so when people are woke culture war stuff, I don't know. A great book would be from Duke lacrosse scandal to the Gaza protests. I just think that is a really good set of bookends for understanding that what the right wingers people call woke era. Yeah, Beaver said a woman tried to extort Pitino for an abortion. It was a real thing.
It was so wild. It was.
Yeah, I want to go back to those days. I want to get away from ICE agents shooting people and then lying in sworn testimony, and then the DHS have to come out today and say we have video of our agents lying, and they're now being investigated. Most likely to be charged. And the guys, we apologize, they have to let go, and the federal judge lets them go. I can't believe that's where we are. That's insane. Nappy-headed hose was around this time.
Oh,
Nappy-headed
yes.
hose.
Imus.
Nappy-headed hose was which year? 2007. Oh, it was the same year.
Yes.
Wait, is that a rap group?
No.
That was the Rutgers team.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Why are you making that joke?
It's because it's funny.
I just answered it too. That was crazy.
Nobody laughed. So,
I don't know my feeling on that.
These things, no, we don't. We can't do gender words again today. I think, it's two sides of, the same coin, right? Because I think that while the anti-woke stuff, that this stuff incites, the anti-woke fervor on one side, as somebody who was on the other side, all of that stuff did also rile up the wokies. I do remember coming of age during this time, coming into, a feminist identity during this time, fighting for my life every single day in AP Gov.
That was its ill effects.
And in AP European history, because of these conversations, it's like Hegelian. We created each other. We exist.
Because of these what, Convert? Because of these what you said?
It's like Now I'm worried. Am I using Hegelian wrong now?
No, I thought you were going to say conversations, but you.
Oh no. Well, because of these kinds of public conversations, yeah. Wait, you don't say conversations because of me. Like you ain't. I don't say conversations like that.
But you know what, Ben? I would start that book earlier.
Where would you start it? What would be?
In the mid-90s.
But then you have 9/11 in the middle.
I understand that. I do. I get that.
I mean, who would be the event you would start it with?
Oh God, what would be the event?
Because I feel like it was the Duke lacrosse game. So for me, it would basically be like I feel like the Duke lacrosse scandal woke up and a sense of feeling aggrieved and victim among white men. They're like, oh, look what they're doing to our boys.
We're under attack.
We're under attack. I feel like that started with the Duke thing. I don't. Maybe it was earlier, but I feel like that.
I think it is early because I would think about the bombing in Oklahoma City.
But that's a different demographic, right? Like there's something.
No, it's a continuum.
But
when I think about Timothy McVeigh, he was 26 years old at the time.
But he was. Joke is it was a big thing where I was from because it was a certain kind of white boy. It was, the people who expected to become the masters of the universe.
A lot of words. Yeah, they're not white trash.
Well, I don't want to say they're not white trash.
It's just a lot of words.
They're white boys.
Yeah, they play lacrosse.
Hey, I apologize. Sometimes I'm a little prolix. Fine.
Not the prolix.
Not the prolix.
Wait, Mel, you didn't know about the Don Imus one either? So the Don Imus one, I remember watching it live because I used to watch You Have One. It kind of built because somebody first, it was either him or Bernard, whatever it's like the ball guy. He said, yo, those are some hardcore hoes. Them hardcore hoes. Some nappy-headed hoes. They actually said hardcore hoes correctly. Oh, Beaver, he was from Jamaica. He was not here. He's in Jamaica. Clot. I'm a buzzer, but a bossy, and I got a bossy. Got a buzzer, but a pussy. Got a boom boom and a rum back a yardie. He's from Jamaica, so he wasn't here. They started off by saying hardcore hoes, and then they went to
This is Imus.
nappy-headed hoes.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he was becoming demented or something.
Mel, what did you just copy and paste?
That's Imus's excuse.
He was a shock jock.
Well,
what are you doing?
But he was a shock jock on, he was on MSNBC, wasn't he?
NBC, yeah.
Yeah, he was always a shock jock. Yeah.
But he wasn't like this.
You know what? Yeah, okay, make excuses for him.
I'm not making excuses. It was fucked up. But why not excuses?
He always said things that were provocative. Now, they're not as provocative as his counterpart at the time.
Epithets. Ooh, Stern?
Yeah, Stern, yeah.
Stern got away with everything.
He got away with a lot.
There was a lot of N-word on that show.
I still can't believe that they were suspended. I'm actually shocked. That actually kind of shocked me. I can't remember offhand if there was advertiser backlash or it was from the public, but I'm just surprised in 2007 you got suspended for saying nappy-headed hoes on the Imus show.
Yeah.
Like they said wild shit on the Imus show.
They made a huge deal of it, and I remember Al Sharpton getting involved.
But isn't that also a reflection of the wokies coming to power? Like, to me, it was an example of, oh, wait a second. Like, we can use our power, we can use our influence to compel these multinationals to submit. I'm sorry, as an early wokie, like, I remember that being like, oh, crap, like, we do have the ability to do this.
Wait, what's going on?
The Imus thing, right? Like, I was an MSNBC watcher, so obviously, like, well,
No. This is a new. No. Sorry, Kimberly. There's a report in the Washington Post that just came out an hour ago. The Don Lemon indictment video appears to contradict key claims. Video footage appears to contradict key aspects of the federal indictment's descriptions of former CNN Don Lemon's actions at a protest last month. Sorry.
They be lying.
Get off.
Lock them up. Lock them up. Not Don Lemon. Actually, never mind. I'm actually not going to say that.
You know, I'll read it. The January 29th indictment calls the 9 defendants, quote, agitators, and says they, quote, entered the church in a coordinated takeover-style attack. In multiple instances, it describes the alleged conduct of the 2 journalists and protesters collectively. It does not characterize Lemon or Georgia Ford as journalists, though it notes that he was live streaming video to his online program, The Don Lemon Show, and that Ford actually separately conducted an interview at one point. Oh, so it's just the fact. Oh, they don't refer to them as journalists in the indictment. Okay, never mind. This is not new. I thought it was something. Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. Oh, I hadn't read this. Did I not read this in the indictment? Lemon allegedly, quote, oppressed, threatened, and intimidated parishioners. Oh my God. The indictment alleges that Lemon, Ford, and the 7 of the defendants, quote, oppressed, threatened, and intimidated people in the church by physically occupying most of the main aisle. Oh no. And rows of chairs near the front of the church, engaging in menacing and threatening behavior. Oh, they just lied.
Oh yeah, that's a lie.
And it's a collection of losses.
I mean, that's a lie. I mean, why would Don Lemon do that when he's filming it?
And it's on video. He was never in the middle, actually. He was off to the side.
Exactly.
What are they doing?
Just Pam Bondi and I guess her being prone to losing in court every single time. That's all it is.
I'm kidding. I don't know, man. I feel like it's somebody inside the DOJ sabotaging these things. Something's off.
Or maybe they're just sloppy.
Yeah, I think they are that incompetent.
You think that the DOJ guy who wrote the DOJ people didn't look at the video? Don Lemon wasn't in the middle with those people.
I know that, and you know that. I mean, we see that from the video.
I think they're lying on purpose. You don't think that they are willfully and intentionally lying?
Oh yeah.
To get the indictments, or
I do. Yes, to get the indictments.
I think somebody's lying to lose because they're trying to sabotage the administration from within. I think the DOJ has been so bad that the only justification I can have is that somebody's doing it on purpose. I swear to God.
So you think
they're doing it out of a form of resistance?
Yeah, no, I think it's a beautiful resistance from the inside.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You know what? You might not be far off from this. And years from now, we might get a book or so, someone coming out and saying, we were the men within.
Don Lemon was threatening and physically intimidating people and took up the middle. He was literally on the side.
Yes, the whole time. Yeah.
But the way that they had to, like, venue shop or whatever, like, go from judge to judge and go to grand jury to try to get any indictment, it indicates to me, I would not be surprised if they were just like, well, just budget.
No, but they didn't have to show the video. So when they present that to the grand jury, I bet you didn't show the video.
Oh, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so it feels like somebody put that in to get the indictment, knowing it's going to get thrown out later on if they got the indictment. Because Don Lemon is, I mean, you can hate Don Lemon. He's not in the middle. Him and his guy are filming on the side. Physically intimidating. He interviews the pastor and like 4 parishioners.
Oh, I get it. Do what you need to do to get the indictment, and then you know you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's because something's off. They're losing cases and trying to indict people. The seditious 6th indictment was, but something's off. Somebody's doing something.
It's the deep state, man.
You know what?
It is the deep state. That's the point.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Someone said, we're just going to do just enough. We're going to write it this way so we can fail. And we can go on with the rest of our lives until this administration is out.
I mean, it's giving. You know what it's giving? It's giving. I don't want to do this work, but my daughter is at Vassar, and I have to pay $20,000 a semester, and I'm putting half of it on a credit card and the other I'm paying cash. and then I'm opening another credit card to roll over a balance so I don't have to pay any interest. And I need to keep my job for 3 years and not go to normal. I'll just do whatever they tell me, and if we lose, we lose. That's what it's giving.
That's what it's giving. That's what it sounds like.
How about 35 plus
Spirit is
living
Sarah
expenses?
Lawrence. What'd you say?
How about 35 plus living expenses? Never mind 20.
No, they got the other 15 living expenses. They got a scholarship, is what I'm saying. They're left over with 20.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They got to pay $20 a year. Believe me, if your kid goes to Vassar and you only have to pay $10,000 a semester, that's pretty good in this day and age.
Oh,
that's pretty good.
That's like paying for a state school. Well, a little more.
Yeah, a little more, but that's not bad. If you're paying about $20,000 for your kid to go to Vassar as a good student, it's very good. They kid go up to Yale Law School.
Yo, so what do you guys think about the Epstein edits?
Which parts, brother?
Do you guys appreciate the Epstein edits that we have?
Which edits, brother?
The Epstein edits.
What are the edits? I don't know what they are. I'm not following it like that. What are the edits? Break it down.
Basically, Epstein dancing with AI.
I'm sorry. Mail asked a good question, and I have been just thinking about this. Like, what were the big things? Okay, so you have Duke Lacrosse in 2006. Do y'all remember the Gina 6?
Yes, of course. That's the Lynch thing, right? The Lynch road.
Yes.
That was a hoax too, right?
Well, I'm not comfortable saying that was a hoax.
Okay, so we don't know about that one. Okay. That was 2007.
Yes, that's 2007. Don Imus, 2007. Sean Bell killed 2006 at the end of 2006. Horrible. And then we get Obama in 2008. We got Oscar Grant in 2009. The Beer Summit with Gates, 2009. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff. A lot of big racial national conversation moments between 2006 and 2010. It was how I got here. I mean, like, it was just a wild time.
Wokeness, a prehistory.
Oh, no.
That's the name of the book. We'll go right there. Wokeness, a prehistory.
Oh, my God. Oh, I have a question for you and Kimberly. Did you happen to watch the first episode of Clock Out with Simone Sanders? And, it's his name. What is his name? Eugene? Yeah. Did you listen to or watch the first episode?
I haven't. How was it?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Sherry. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay. So MS Now has put out a new podcast with Simone Sanders Townsend and Eugene from
Politico?
Yeah, he's working for Politico now, right? He's no longer working for the Post. Washington Post.
Eugene Daniels. They gave Eugene Daniels a TV show.
Yeah. That's what he was aiming for.
He was aiming for that. And so it's the show. It's very focused because they're talking about politics and culture. Well, culture and politics and how they collide and everything else.
Breaking news. Sorry, Sherry.
Mm-hmm.
Reuters just released a report that Russell Voigt, Trump's budget chief. Did y'all read about this already?
No, what happened?
He diverted millions of dollars from USAID to pay for his personal security details.
Stop it.
Oh, wow. And how much is that? How much was that?
They reviewed 3 documents. This is the reporters Jonathan Landay and Douglas Gillison wrote that they reviewed 3 documents showing, oh my God.
That's the deep state again.
$15 million.
Yeah, personal security is very expensive.
Yeah, I guess so. Diverting. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Let me read from the document. Sorry, Sherry, I didn't cut you off with this.
No. You gotta know. Go ahead.
One of the documents reviewed by Reuters said OMB signed an agreement with USAID last September 11th to, quote, cover the costs associated with then acting USAID administrator with security detail through November. That amount, 1.6 million, came from what is left of USAID's operating budget. The document showed. OMB budgeted another 13.5 million in U.S. aid funds to underwrite the cost of Voice's security detail through the end of this year, quote, as they relate to his current role as senior advisor to USAID. That this is a fireable offense.
It's sick.
Trump should fire him.
Yeah.
This is fireable.
Yeah.
This is bad. I'll invite some maggots up and tell us why we should be paying $15 million for Russell Voigt's personal thing.
Dan, I have a theory on this. Where would Reuters would have gotten this information from?
Hello?
Is it possible that Trump is actually trying to ask them and they decide
I don't know about Trump. I don't know about Trump doing it, but
yeah, well, the big statement. Back to your theory about people.
One of the things, if you read the what you did, remember in the Wall Street Journal report on No, it said while leaks about Trump had been contained vis-a-vis the first term, leaks about the rest of the administration is like a dam had burst, Beaver Dam, all open. It's like leaks. Everybody's telling on everybody. Susie Wiles was sitting on the record. So clearly, this is somebody, former U.S. that clearly gave this to Reuters. Clearly.
Yeah, they're leaking everywhere.
They're leaking everything. This is 10 times worse than the first time.
Oh,
This
yes.
is a mess.
Yes. Who do you think would be? If you ask me, I'd say it's Marco Rubio. He oversees the ID, and he'd be the kind of person that wouldn't like a Russell Ford or a Stephen Miller for president.
I don't think the principals are doing it. I think it's
it's not the principal.
Russell Voigt is an asshole. He was probably somebody in the office who he threw a Subway sandwich at and said, "See, you can't be convicted for throwing a Subway sandwich."
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's probably a mid-level person that did it. I wouldn't. Yeah, not the principals.
Marco is going to keep a distance from it.
Clock it. I don't think I don't go to the principals on this stuff. I mean, I think Marco, if he wanted him fired, could just go to Trump and that. I don't think the principals. Why would Marco Rubio even know about that?
Yeah, why would he? Yeah, why would he know about it?
He's the one running USAID.
Oh, you think Marco Rubio is reading procurement statements and billing documents?
Not if he wants to dip his hands in a whole bunch of stuff.
I think
like the guy
Rubio does not care about USAID as long as his.
He run for president. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not for president. I mean, what would be the point of him doing that? What does he get out of it?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
So, number one, they're going to be hammered in the midterms. That's a given. Who are the people that have made it difficult for Republicans to potentially win in the midterms? All blame, at least in his perspective, would be people like Stephen Miller. Why are they backtracking on a whole bunch of stuff that they were doubling down on, including Minnesota, Minneapolis? By the way, these are just a bunch of theories and all of that, but I also don't think it is beneath some of these principals to actually be the ones leaking stuff. They do it all the time in every administration. It doesn't necessarily have to be the guy himself picking up the phone and saying, "Hey, this is Marco Rubio. I've got some intel for you." That's not
But what is his interest in it? Like, why would he be invested in it?
Yes, that's what I'm asking. Yes. How does this benefit him?
Just one other headache that he doesn't need.
Is that it?
I don't know, Sherry. I like the challenge, by the way, just to be clear, but I mean, I don't think JD Vance is going to be, say, for example, he would have a problem with Ross Vogt, or he'll be interested in the substance, day-to-day stuff that's happening at USAID. So, my theory is simply on the premise that Marco is overseeing USAID, and yes, that doesn't mean he's going through line items every minute, but I don't know, man. These guys have their camps.
But Vogt has amassed so many enemies. I mean, so many. Like, rank and file enemies. It makes more sense that it would be somebody more regular. There's so many horrible stories about Russell Vogt out there. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. I don't doubt that one bit. I'm just saying it's also possible that could be Marco and his people. It'll be if they're trying to bring some semblance of normal for whatever time they have left in office. It also is an indication that someone like Donald Trump does pay attention to the polls. I mean, we just saw what happened with Minneapolis. They backtracked on the damn thing. Tom Homan said he was the one that recommended to the president to, do a drawdown, or if, discontinue the operation in Minneapolis. But we know that's a fucking lie. Republicans are being pressured. This thing is becoming a political headache for them. So.
I mean, you know what actually makes me sad, but is not going to cause any outrage because Americans don't really care. The scale of senseless deaths that are going to happen because of the cutting of USAID. What is his last? Adewande, is that how you pronounce it? He was the last head of USAID. Atul Adewande or something like that. He has done so many interviews talking about hundreds of thousands, millions of deaths. ProPublica just did a series on the cuts, the fallout from the cuts. Babies, children, preventable deaths from HIV. I mean, it's sick. It is sick.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, it was so bad that
Hello?
Bush had to intervene personally in hopes of keeping PEPFAR or some semblance of PEPFAR alive. That's how bad it was.
Yeah. People dying of starvation because they can't get $1.50 worth of food every day, and the food is just rotting in a warehouse. I mean, it's sick. Lock all of those people up. I'm a carceral feminist now.
Boy, there's a movement that failed. Prison abolitionism. I mean, that shit came like a loud fart with no smell. Like, oh, I heard it, but it left nothing behind. It didn't actually do anything. I heard the fart, but there was no smell to it. Did somebody fart, or was that just a chair? That's how that thing went. I mean, damn.
I wonder why it failed.
Our hearts, okay. Our hearts are in the right place. And the real abolitionists, right? Like Beth Ritchie she's still in there, right? Like the real abolitionists are like still in it. But the wave came. The wave came.
Oh, I can tell you why it failed. It's a lot simpler than that. It's 4 words. One of the words.
Sure.
Well, actually, no. It is 7 words.
A fart in a windstorm?
No. Nate Parker, Bill Cosby, and Robert Kelly.
Yeah, that'll do it.
All you had to do
Never do it.
when you were all you had to do when somebody put rest in peace to H. Rap Brown. My brother died last year. Just threw me off. All you had to do was when they were on and on about the carceralities of the injustices. What do you think about R. Kelly? You think R. Kelly should go to jail? Brain.
No. Wait, what happened is, like, and people ask me, like, do you think Robert Kelly should go to jail? I'm not going to expend my political or emotional energy in defending R. Kelly. Okay? I want what the victims want. That is my feeling about that. I also acknowledge that simply incarcerating R. Kelly is not going to restore, okay, the victims. It's not going to get them what has been taken from them. Okay. But if he does, if he's in there until he dies, so be it. What? But that doesn't mean that I support incarceration. It just means
But I think also you have to also, well, I think about this when I think, when we think about someone like R. Kelly, who, not just a form of punishment, but for public safety.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
He shouldn't have been on. He should not be on the street. No, you have to think about this idea of public safety.
I think about it. I don't know if R. Kelly is. I can't.
Was in his
Whatever. Lock him up. Lock everybody up.
What are we
Throw
talking about
everybody.
here?
I don't know.
I mean, yes, and I think that's another thing when you talk about this idea of abolition. You know, the prison system. And I know we want to talk about this idea of justice. That's another thing.
Right. Is that
but
justice?
We also need to talk about the idea of public safety.
I think public safety is whatever the prosecutors want it to be. I mean, especially with regard to pursuing prosecution for sexual assault.
Well, they're victims, right? I mean, yes, they cannot, you know, to your point, you know, they can't get back anything that, you know, the damage that he has caused, right? But the matter of them being safe from him is a thing to consider.
I think I want to build on what Sherry was saying. So this could just be a condition of the West, but I'm sure they have it elsewhere in the world. I'm a Westerner. Sorry to the pro-blackers, but there's a question. If there's a question of my heart, you got it. Can't believe in one another. There's a question of public safety, all the things you said. There's also a question, and I get to this, of course, through my reading of tragedy, the great genre of the West. Vengeance and punishment. And people have just been like, and it's not just in tragedy, but it's throughout. It's just sort of what we would call like decorum in culture. That is, good is rewarded and bad is punished. And the carceral girlies, the abolitionists, never dealt, to my mind, deep enough with the cultural questions. And some people's notion of justice and restorative justice actually depends, this is my reading of tragedy in the West, from, say, Aeschylus to the present, from Aeschylus to Aisha Harris, is that people want evil punished. And there is no justice without the punishment of evil.
Okay.
Wrongdoing must be put down. This, of course, is what you see in France in the 17th century. You had, Richelieu said, all good guys had to be rewarded. All bad guys had to be put down. Otherwise, you can't do your ballet. Otherwise, you can't do your opera. Otherwise, you can't do, Corneille, Racine, or whomever. Right? That's what they're saying. The abolitionists, they never dealt with the cultural question. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to be here. You people don't live in America. Don't get me slipping, no. This is America. Ooh. Yeah. This is America. You people don't live in America. Y'all don't live in the world. In the world, good is rewarded and bad is punished. And if you do a bad thing, the collective punishment is they put you away. I'm just telling you whatever. I've read the Davises and the Ruthie Gilmores, Shauna Red. I've read all the things. Or Sami Burton. I've read all of them. All the prison abolitionists. They do not deal ever with culture. And let me tell you why. Because their Lord and Master, Karl Marx, told them they didn't have to.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I'm done speaking.
Yeah, okay. I mean, so I was in that conversation we had last night in that room. I'm like, I'm a materialist. I'm like, yeah, but you still have to think about culture. What's going on?
Okay, so my belief in abolition and decarceration, I think your people, we need to open up the jails in many cases, was animated by what I can acknowledge was a misunderstanding of human nature. I can acknowledge, 36-year-old Kim can acknowledge, there were just things that I hadn't contended with because I hadn't been forced to contend with. I thought that the good and the light and the brightness, if we invested in that, if we believed in that, if we propped it up enough, that it would cancel out the darkness, that it would cancel out the evil, that there are people who delight in evil and delight in causing havoc and doing violence, but we could just be bright enough that they would be on the margins. Obviously, over the last 8 years, many of us have been disabused of that notion. And so now I am much more open to the idea that sometimes you have to stomp people into the dust. Sometimes you've got to grind them to dust to make sure that they can never get back up and do more violence. So sometimes we have to lock some people up. I'm okay with that now. And also my feeling about empathy has changed, but that's a different conversation. And I think a lot of us, you know, the young, optimistic decarceration girlies, you know, we only talk to each other and hang out with each other and and you know, and our lives are easy or easy-ish and good, and we're bookish and optimistic, and we just never just sat down to deal with the reality that some people are evil, and you have to stomp out evil.
There's a different thing. So Brian is making the point about Rousseau. I don't think it's Rousseau, but I'll be interested. I haven't read in the literature on prison abolitionism anything that speaks to a Rousseauian notion that humans are inherently, or their goodness is inherent within them, and society corrupts them. And all. I that may be there, to be fair to him, but I don't think it is. I'm gonna make two claims. One, Kimberly, you're gonna think I'm trolling, but I'm not. I think it's very gendered. There's a reason why women are overrepresented in prison abolitionism. Do you want to know the reason? I know it's gonna sound like I'm being flippant, but I'm not.
Let's hear it.
Y'all don't fight.
Down in Springfield, there's a fella in a big tall chair.
I may be a square bitch ass and everything now, but like I fought. I played sport, like physical contact, a confrontation. It's gonna sound whatever, but when you're fighting, when you're like a grade boy in high school, you're 25-year-old, you fight and thing, something in you actually does feel like you could die. I'm telling you, this is actually. I'm not. It just feels like I'm like being over dramatical. I'm not trolling at all. I'm dead serious. You guys don't confront that in a regular. Now, if you have domestic violence, all that stuff, that's fine. But girls just don't fight. Increasingly, boys won't fight either. Well, and they'll be closer to your side. But there's a reason why you guys don't see quote unquote evil. We're using evil. I said tragedy, so that's what he's doing. In the way that people do is because y'all don't fight. You don't fight. When I was in middle school, I saw boys fight. There's multiple boys fight. One boy fell. Trigger warning. I'll do it, Mickey. 3, 2, 1. He fell. Hit a radiator. His ear got caught. Ripped right off. Blood everywhere. I'm in 7th grade. I see that shit is the abyss.
Yeah.
And so you guys think, open the prisons up. And it don't work like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're talking about Black women, the group of women that's most likely to be sexually assaulted, the group of women that's most likely to be in intimate partner violence relationships. I'm not sure if we can say that we're not facing, or we don't face the potential for death and bodily harm. I'm not there. but I think that there is. I don't know. I don't know about the not fighting thing. I think a lot of black women have been in some.
Can I put my thought? No, I agree. And those people generally are not going to be the one. I could be wrong, but I don't think they are well represented in the prison abolitionist anti-carcerality girlies. Can I put my thought?
I can't say that. I don't.
We'll come back to it. Let Rod go, Kimberly. Hold on, because I want to build with you. Go ahead, Rod. Do you think?
I feel like women shouldn't have to fight for them to get justice. I feel like they should have like so many other ways for.
Go ahead, Kim.
I think that might be. I'm gonna have to think about it. I think that there are assumptions about the kinds of violence that women face. I'm not sure that those assumptions are correct. There's also, back when I used to make content.
Not women. No, I mean you women who are the abolitionists.
No. I'm saying that there's an assumption. I'm not sure that the assumptions that you have about classed women or educated women who are overrepresented amongst the abolitionists.
I see. Okay.
I'm not sure that those assumptions about the violence that they may or may not have endured. I'm not sure that that's correct.
That's correct. I could be totally wrong. That's totally true. I thought you were
Also, there is. I interviewed years ago this woman named Lee Goodmark, and she wrote a book about abolition and domestic violence. And I was really compelled by the arguments that she was making about how prisons make women who have experienced domestic violence, they put them in more dangerous positions. They're not making them safer. They don't provide resources. The women go back anyway, and then they go back, and then they're killed. I mean, there's just so many gaps in the criminal legal system where women who are experiencing life or death situations, they fall through those gaps. That also animated my feeling about prisons.
I think that's fair, actually. I think that from those women and men, but in this case women we're talking about, whose family members or themselves personally were in the system, they emerge with a critique. I think that's true. I actually think that's very fair. That's a blind spot in my original point. So I take that. I think that's good. That's good. That's good. Maybe I'm thinking of the overly academic, overly theorized, multisyllabic gobbledygook. So I think that's very fair. That's a good point.
Echo chamber.
No, you disagree. You added something.
No, I was being. It's ironic, It's echo chamber. We always agree. Like, Kim only like Glazes band. Like, we always agree.
I love that when they go to the Glazes. Makes me realize I should go get a glizzy. I don't really eat glizzies anymore. I think that after you reach 30, you can only eat hot dogs at spring, summer, and fall events. And the hot dog had to have been grilled. And you can really have, if you're at the event, for every 3 hours you're at the event, that's how many hot dogs you can have. So if you show up at the event at 5 p.m. and you leave at 9 p.m., you can have 2 hot dogs. If you show up at 5 p.m. and leave at 8 p.m., you can have 1 hot dog. However, if you're there from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., you can have 2 hot dogs. However, you can have both hot dogs within the first. I'm talking about hot dogs, bro. Calm down, brother. Hold on a second. You can have 2 You can have both hot dogs within the first 20 minutes, but you have to stay for 6 hours in order to justify the 2 hot dogs. You see, now when it comes to sporting events, if your son or if your daughter go have a game, and it is a baseball game, it is a basketball game, and there is no other food, and you packed and ate all the food, and because your kid's team sucks, you thought the kid would be out in the first round, but they actually make it to the 3rd round and you're hungry, and they're selling hot dogs on that little roll machine. They put the bun in that white crib-like paper, and they had a pump of ketchup and mustard pumps. You are allowed to have a hot dog in that instance. The other time you're allowed to have a hot dog is if you go to a professional or college sporting event and the hot dog is cooked in a particular way. You see, if you have a hot dog and the hot dog is boiled, that hot dog, that boiled hot dog, means you have to sleep outside. No one over the age of 30 should have a boiled hot dog. That is in a sporting event, or that is in that hot dog water, cancer water, arsenic water in New York City hot dog carts. If you eat a hot dog from a New York hot dog cart and you are a tourist over the age of 30 and you've never done it before, you are allowed to have a hot dog. But if you know better and you have that hot dog, you should lose your right to vote for the next 3 federal elections. You see. Question. Now, if you are in New York and you want a hot dog and you're over 30 years old and you go to a spot that's called Gray's Papaya, you are allowed to eat 2 of those hot dogs once, maybe twice a year. That's right. But if you have a hot dog in any other moment, you are killing yourself. The hot dog must be cooked on an open flame, or like Gray's Papaya, on a flat top, which gets me to the ultimate point I've been trying to get at. If you find yourself at Five Guys, or you find yourself at Shake Shack, or if you find yourself at any other burger place that has a hot dog where the hot dog is prepared on a flat top like a smash burger, people aren't going to like this. You are not allowed to eat those hot dogs. Those hot dogs are delicious. But if you're going to eat those hot dogs, you see, are getting in the way of a more delicious burger. So if you are going to hasten your cancer, your heart disease, your arterial plaque, hasten it with a more fulfilling burger. I'm here to take any questions on hot dogs. Pause.
Yeah, I got one question.
I can't answer your questions on hot dogs. Who's next in the queue? Okay, Spiritus, I'll take your question.
Yes. So my question is about pigs in blankets.
That's a great question. So, if you are a man does not have children, and you find yourself eating, thinking about a pig in blanket in your own home that you or someone in your home prepares, and there is no pig in blanket, you are to go upstairs, run the water in your tub, and sit in your tub for 5 hours straight thinking about where you went wrong in life. No adult should be eating a pig in blanket without a child involved, except under one circumstance. The only time one could have a pig in blanket, spiritus, is if one is at a party and the people get Trader Joe's pig in blanket appetizers, and they have the correct pig in blanket mustard. It could be a German mustard. It could be a Dijon mustard. It could be a spicy mustard. It cannot be a yellow mustard. In that instance, especially if the rest of the food is not good, you can have a pig in blanket. Watch this. If you decide to have a pig in blanket in that scenario, you have to go, as Pat Finn said, no pun intended, whole hog. You cannot nibble on pig in blanket. That needs to be your appetizer. You are not allowed to have a small plate. Some of you people have parties and you think you're sophisticated hosts and you have those plastic clear plates. When I see that at someone's house, that lets me know everything that you know about their cultural capital, their social standing, etc. Shout out to Bourdieu. Some people all of a sudden on the app love Bourdieu. Nobody's named a book, but everybody's reading Bourdieu. It's fascinating. I love it. Theory of Practice, my favorite one, 1976. The English translation, Cambridge University Press. Let me get in here. If you're doing that, you have to fill up your plate with pig in blanket. You cannot nibble on pig in blanket. It's like oral sex. If you're going to do it, do it. Do not beat around the bush. Any other questions? I'm done speaking.
The mustard was accurate. Any connection between hot dogs and colonoscopies?
I'm eating dinner.
Particularly.
I'm eating dinner.
I don't think so. There's no. I mean, you have to. No, but I don't think so. Yeah. Kimberly Foster, everybody's studying distinction online now.
Oh, yeah. Distinction is the big one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. because the idea is a basic one. So you can cite the idea, which is a basic one and obviously true, and then put that French name next to it, and then people think you're talking about. But we have to begin to set one thing that we use Bourdieu for this. We have to begin to get back to the business of putting food and drink, or aligning food and drink with age categories. A 36-year-old man
No, Rodney, you can't have chicken fingers. You're an adult.
I mean, you should not be drinking Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid and Tang. I'm sorry.
Wait, who does Tang?
I
They still
that's
do.
awful.
So, I mean, astronauts.
It's
Astronauts. So,
Oh my God. Oh no. That's so awful.
I want y'all to know that this is an ableist conversation.
Why?
I know you don't care, but
which part?
I can't believe that y'all are participating in this kind of ableism. Some of us are neurodivergent, and that narrows our palates. Okay? We are very sensitive to tastes and textures. We have an aversion, okay?
Oh, I thought it was homophobic. I didn't know it was ableist, too.
Oh, don't worry, everybody can find the thing that fits their identity category so they can be the victim. Let me respond to. I'm the only one that doesn't do that. Everybody else, let me respond to on here. Let me respond to. Let me finish what I was saying. If you're a 36-year-old man, a 36-year-old woman, you should not have on your plate a larger version of what 10-year-olds eat. Huh? At a certain point, as you age, your taste buds age. You begin to taste certain things, certain combinations. Be an adult. We'll be dead soon. The solid flesh will melt. We will be in the undiscovered country. There will be no tomorrow, and tomorrow for many of us. Why are you eating the same thing that you ate at 14 on the way to your swim meet? Hey girl, yeah, you know that we have to play tech next week, and we're going to be like, it's great because like this is the Tech Juniors, and so we're going to be at the poll at Georgia Tech. By the way, the ACCs and the NCAAs will be at Georgia Tech this year. I know many people here give a fuck about swimming because of Leah Thomas and the trans. So I'm sure all of you will see me because I'll be there at the NCAAs this year and the ACC, which will be at Tech, because everybody cares about college girls swimming, right? I know it's such a big deal. We had to get Trump in office because of Leah Thomas, and we care so much about girls swimming. Let me continue. If you find yourself sounding like the 14-year-olds who want to stop at the Zaxby, stop at the Chick-fil-A, stop at the McDonald's, stop, and ordering the same thing. Let me get a plain chicken sandwich. I'll do grilled. You have some barbecue sauce on the side, a medium fry, and can I have, like, not a sweet tea, but, like, can you do, like, 70% unsweetened and, like, 30% sweetened? With like a dash of lemonade, because like it's like a really complex flavor, and I don't like all that sugar, but I don't like totally unsweetened. So like if you get like 30, yeah, that'd be like really good. Like just a splash of lemonade. You can make it like sweet lemonade because I do that much, but don't forget to account for the sweet. I'm sorry. But I don't account for like I want to account for like the sweetened part of it. And so like, could you do that? And then like, I want like 2 barbecue sauces, and also like, let me get the Polynesian. Well, yeah, you can also throw in like a Chick-fil-A sauce. I know that it's got mayonnaise in it, but since I'm only gonna eat one, I'm gonna use it for my fry. Well, just put 2 in there, because like, if you find yourself at 35, 36 sounding like that, a 14-year-old, go home and saute a mushroom. Go home and caramelize an onion. Go home and cook anything. Get a bunch of thyme and just put it to the side and introduce yourself to an aromatic.
Question.
Use your tongue. I'm done speaking.
Okay, question. Sugar cereals, as in.
Okay, this is a great question. So, many people are not going to like this answer. If if you are out of college, oh my God, let's go down to the dining hall. Like, I don't like what was on the buffet. I saw it, and like, I just had like grilled chicken for lunch. I had like 4 breasts. So like, I'm just gonna get like cereal, like some juice. They got some fruit. You can do that in college. You can do that in college. Like, cause like, I don't, there's like Frosted Flakes. I know it's like full of sugar, but like, I'm just gonna treat myself because like, I had like salad and like, I'm gonna get some breast. I'll just go to the grill. But like, I don't, like, they've got that weird chicken cacciatore and like, it's weird because they have these onions and tomatoes in there. And I don't really like that. Like, that's fine. Once you leave college, you have a 5-year period where you can continue to eat sugar cereal as an exigency of you being broke. You then, as an adult, are not allowed to eat sugar cereal unless you have children. If you have children and there's a sugar cereal in there, and these nigglets are running you around from pole to post, left, right, and center, from the Alpha to the Omega until kingdom come, you are allowed to sneak downstairs and get a bowl of corn pops. You are allowed to sneak downstairs and get a bowl of Frosted Flakes. You just have to make sure you do 2 things. You have to make sure that ring of cinnamon around the bowl from that Cinnamon Toast Crunch is cleaned up. Because if your child sees you eating that cereal, they will shame you for weeks. Outside of that, you are not allowed to eat sugar cereal until, finally, you've retired. No working person should be eating sugar cereal in the prime of their life, in their prime working years. No adult who pays taxes, who has a retirement, who wears double Windsor knots, who has red bottoms, who engages in oral sex, should be eating sugar cereals. Because if you eat sugar cereals, that tells me that you got shit in your ass. Sugar cereal consumption for an adult at working age correlates directly to poor bathing habits. I'm done.
I gotta clip that one. Oh my God.
This is one of those moments when I'm proud to be a Senegambian. Break that down, please.
Let me respond to that. You see, one thing that happens with people who aren't American is they see a whole a panoply, an assortment, what Shakespeare might call diverse options. And oftentimes they're poor. And then they have, as we just heard, a kind of Epicurean haughtiness, a superciliousness of seasoning. Now, if I responded to she and said the reason why you don't eat sugar cereals is because you eat a soup which combines lamb blood and peanut butter, I would be wrong. So yes, it is true that we are eating frosted flakes. You're eating peanut butter soup stirred in with lamb's blood. I'll stick with the frosted flakes.
Ben, I wanted to ask your opinion on what the young people call air fryer foods at Trader Joe's. Are the millennials supposed to keep eating those?
Let me respond to this. I'm glad you asked me this question. This has been on my mind. In my mind. This is very interesting to me. I mean, I'm not being informative as you all would say. I mean this with all seriousness. The combination of younger millennials and Gen Z, their combination of weed smoking and air frying will prevent the liberation of the Negro in America. Huh? Between the weed smoking and the air frying, the Negro's liberation will be where it was in 1879. These people, you people, have cultivated a modus vivendi, a way of life, forms of being, and existence.
Of a vendor.
Ultimately, what you want is to sit on a couch and have people throw food in your mouth.
In your mouth. In your mouth. Air fryer to mouth vivendi.
Huh?
I am done.
I would have at the center of my platform outlawing air fryers. And now I'm going to be elitist. The only air fryer I would allow is if it is built in to your oven that you got in the wall like I had in my house. Taking a bunch of food, putting it on a counter, putting it in a machine on a counter, and having a convection oven, getting it just hot enough so that the salmonella and E. coli don't fully set in, is not cooking. The lack of recipes, the lack of Epicureanism, the lack of foodie elan tells me that these young Negroes are not interested in my liberation because they're not interested in their own. Huh? Let me say it again. How can you be interested in my liberation when you can't even take the time for mirepoix? How are you going to be interested in my liberation when you won't even give a piece of steak a butter bath? How are you going to be interested in my liberation when you can't even have your broccoli in the oven and halfway through burn the pan around and roast it, and when you're roasting it? You tell me you're going to die for my liberation and you don't even scramble an egg? In the beginning of A Raisin in the Sun, which was brought up yesterday, let me use a literary reference. Ruth Younger, who I believe is the real hero of the piece, the unsung hero of the piece, also has a storyline about women's reproductive health. People forget wherever she goes to get that abortion, but y'all not ready for that discussion yet. Shout out to the feminists. It's in the morning of that fateful Chicago morning Kimberly Foster, you'll remember this. They're waiting for the check. It's a $10,000 check. Big Walter died. His life insurance got him $10,000. Ruth gets up. You remember in the film was played by great Ruby Dee. And she starts to prepare the day. Ironing, cooking, cleaning, preparing, folding, loving. And then Walter gets up, of course, played by the great Sidney Poitier. And then what comes next is a discussion at the table where Walter wants to get off to work so he can drive that car for the white man. And he's vexed because he doesn't know what Mama Lena is going to do with the check. Y'all remember this?
Sure do. Yeah.
And then he's in a state of a kind of working class, near poverty ennui, Kimberly Foster. And he's moping. And she puts a plate of food in front of him. Y'all know what the food is? Eggs. And Hansberry and her infinite genius has a whole scene where the two of them go back and forth talking about eating eggs. The point of the scene is not about the egg or the protein. Shout out to Hurricane. The point of the scene is about the care that goes into making of the egg, because Ruth got up to make him eggs. If she will make your eggs, she will fight for your liberation. That's the point of the scene. If I come to your house and you put a piece of meat, some green beans, and some nasty, irregularly chopped, non-biased sliced potatoes in a fucking air fryer, and spray some Pam on that bitch, and some salt and pepper, that means if you see me suffering in life, you would have me suffering. That is why we have to get rid of the air fryer. The great Bob Marley, he said, do what? Get up! Stand up! Fire. He didn't say order DoorDash. The Uber Eats driver is not bringing liberation. Get off your black ass and cook me some eggs. I'm done.
So you're saying women need to use their cooking to distract the Negro male from their cockamamie business ideas? Didn't Walter want to use the check to open a liquor store?
And that's why the black woman and the black man need to sit at the table again. Turn the television off. Turn the TV 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 off. Turn it off. Talk to each other. Because down the road, because you turned the TV off, maybe later that evening you can do what? Turn off the lights. And then we can be free. We need to come together right now over me. Get to the eggs. If Walter has spent more time eating eggs with Ruth, who is the wisest in that piece, he would have realized that giving the money to some nigga named Bobo was not a good idea. Huh? He should have been there with his woman over that plate of eggs. And then they could have said, in the words of the old Negro spiritual, Ruth, you're my my greatest inspiration. He should have been there singing with Ruth. Instead, what was he doing? He went out and got drunk, came in, Foster be a warrior in his sober state? I'm going to tell you why. It's because, one, he allowed his mother to emasculate him, and two, because he did not sit down and have those eggs. And the problem with the black man is that even though he's tired, his back hurts, you need to go to the table, cut the TV off. If you're going to have the radio on, can't have no words in it. You can have the Brandon Birkin chair. You have on the Brandon Birkin chair toast. You can't talk about your gang. Do you gang bang? Catch me outside from the news. Turn that off. Sit at the table and listen to the black woman as she gives you those eggs. Because as you're eating the egg, baby, what you think about this Bobo idea? I don't know, honey. You know, I saw Bobo the other day. This nigga was down the street, and I just didn't like what he was like. What was he doing? If Walker had listened to the egg woman and watched what Hansberry did, the egg is not only a metaphor for black love of the woman and the man and the family. It is, in another register, Kimberly Foster, a metaphor, not a metaphor, a synecdoche, not a synecdoche, but the thing itself for the little bambino that Ruth is pregnant with. The black egg, the egg of black love is the next generation, Kimberly Foster. That's why you need to sit down and eat the eggs with the black woman. Instead, I gotta get ready for work. Instead, baby, put in some bread. I'll take it on the way in the car. Instead, oh, y'all go ahead and watch TV. Go get the TV tables. When did niggas start eating food with a fucking TV table? Yeah, we still gonna sit up here. We're gonna watch this. We're gonna have this on that TV table. You get the TV table here. We're gonna eat dinner here. And I got this all this. We're gonna sit and watch that, baby. It's gonna be real good. Take your ass to the table. The black woman, watch this, is the Senate to the black man's house. My God. Woo! I'm gonna say it again. The black woman is the Senate to the black man's house. When the house wants to do what? When the house wants to do what? Some dumb shit. When the house wants to do what? The house wants to pass a bill where you take the money, Kimberly Foster. You take the money to a random dude in 1959 named Bobo. And instead of giving it to Bobo, take it to your Senate. Baby, why are you gonna give the money to Benita, baby. Benita wants to go to medical school, and Mama wants to put down money in the house, and little Travis is sitting out here, and he don't have a proper bedroom, baby. And he don't have a bedroom there, baby. And so if we get this house, baby, we can do what? Travis can have his own room, and as a young man, he's gonna have his own room because now he's seeing me come through here, and his mom, his grandmom, and his mom, and his auntie. That's not good, baby. You know what? I'm not going to give the money to Bobo. And basically what I'm saying is, on the really real, I mean this with all due respect, Karen White was wrong. She was wrong.
American win! Damn!
Doorstep sunshine, name on the flyer, a coffee in hand, talking truth to power. From our schools to the small town stores, Sean's been listening at the doors. Kitover can win, we can win this time. March 17, let your voice align. Every ballot cast, every hope we bring. John Kitover, let the people sing. Kitover can win, yeah! Woo! Change begins. Working families, folks on the night shift too. Tired of promises that never come through. He's got plans, not just a polished line. Fair work, safe streets, and a vote that's mine. Can win, we can win this time. March 17, let your voice align. Every ballot counts, every hope we bring. John Kitover, let the people sing. Kitover can win, yeah. We choose him in for our future.
It's not frozen, right? So that's something. But anyway, that's a nice challenge, and I will anyway.
Well, I just think it's only fair if the people of Minnesota have to avoid ice. Norm and I should swim the Hudson River and avoid ice there as well.
I would love to join you guys. I've always wanted to see how normal and swim trunk.
That's great. Anyway, so let us come back to this topic. This is going to be an interesting thing for me, at least. I just want to give a small, simple thing where I see big difference. We had, she's no more,